I'd probably have to leave
some
early.
internet issues at our
There it is.
office this morning. It's 1
I
o'clock.
get to drive to Alamosa 5 times this year.
We need to call our regular school board meeting to order. May 16th, 2017. Thank each one of you for being here. I know you make a sacrifice to be here, and I appreciate it very much. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
The only thing I have, Doc, is on this, the CPP, Molly is gonna try and slip away from the preschool, so I don't know that she'll fit in the time frame that we have.
You told me that. I didn't address that when I answered you, but we'll work her in when she gets here.
You know,
Yeah.
help kids get to sleep and try to get back before they wake up.
Yeah, right. No, we'll take care of it
Okay.
when she gets here, yeah. I guess Sandy's the only public we've got.
Hey, John, would you ask Holly if she's got the diplomas? I thought I had them, but
We need to approve the minutes from, let's see, I don't find those in the Dropbox.
yeah, they're there. They just got them.
Oh, Josh,
About 2 hours ago.
It's like
Okay.
CSB,
I had a little problems with my Dropbox this morning too. Anything that you guys see that needs to be changed or corrected?
no, the only, well, I guess we'll discuss it, but on new business D, we had announced that there was gonna be a potluck at my house, but I think we're gonna talk about that, but as far as the minutes goes.
Okay, yeah.
They're in there.
Yeah, we've got a chance to discuss our retreat, and that certainly could be part of it.
I make a motion to accept the minutes from April 18th.
I second that motion.
Moved and seconded that we accept the minutes from April 18th,
Thank you, Holly.
last regular school board meeting.
Don't you have to do
E, F, G.
that?
You're first, aye.
Aye.
You're next, aye. And I'm next, yes, and Mark, thank you.
Hey, while you folks are sitting there, these are the diplomas. We need a signature from the president and the secretary. And if you have black ink, that would be ideal.
Oh, she said a pen. Just black.
Yeah, black ink. Oh, yeah, there it is. Boom.
That's the official.
I actually have black ink. Thank you. And I guess we better, in case somebody else. What have we got, president
4 of
and
them.
secretary? Okay. I'll send these down to Mark.
Those are yours.
Stole the paperwork.
Consideration of claims and accounts. We have a motion to pay the bills. Have you guys been signing checks?
And I haven't seen any checks here.
There aren't any checks.
I move we pay all, yeah. They're actually on Bucks Off on your
Oh,
desk.
there are
still.
checks here.
On my desk.
The other ones are, we've got a little bit of payroll is what I was told, but the claims are on your desk. The other claims. Sharon's been gone, Buck hurt himself. That's the explanation I received.
I've got a grandson that was born, a great-grandson that was born with just one arm. And this is one of my favorite stories, so you've probably heard it before. But I was on the phone with his mother one day, and Buck was one of her teachers, and I hold the school responsible for her attitude. But she said, you better pick up your toys, Austin. He said, I could hear all this on the phone. I can't pick up my toys, I've only got one arm. Getting this deal for all it's worth, you know?
yeah.
And she said, if you don't pick up your toys, I'm gonna jerk your other arm off and beat you to death with it. So, I blame Creede Schools for that.
And that's when you call DSS, I hope.
Actually, she and her husband have done a very good job with that child. He's very self-assured, and
How old is he now?
he's 14, yeah. He's a big karate expert with one arm, which I think was an interesting thing to do for him.
When I was coaching wrestling, we competed over at La Vida, and there was a lad over there that was born without arms. He only had the legs to wrestle with. And all our guys in the house were, just take it easy on him.
Yeah.
And this kid kicked butt.
Oh, yeah,
He wanted to
yeah.
match. So, you can overcome.
We had one in center, and probably one of those thalidomide babies, you know, back when they were giving that drug. And man, I'll tell you what, that kid, he was an army kid, and he'd whip you, he'd kick you down, get you down on the ground and kick you to death. It was unbelievable. Okay, financial report from Mr. Strove. Next to the last time, he'll be giving this.
So we have, for the end of April, we're at 75% in revenues of the amount budgeted. And at the end of the month of April, we were at 981,540. As of May 9th, that jumped up to 1,288,000, thanks to, we finally got some of the tax money back from the county, so that helped. At the end of the month, we were 79% of the way through in expenses. And again, just as a reminder, we will never hit that amount at the end of the year because we do accrue the expenses into August and September because of the July and August, because of the teacher salaries, the contracts. But at that point, we had spent $1,105,000, and as of the 9th, $1,224,000. So pretty even Steven at that point in time. And going back to the previous budget, we are almost exactly where we anticipated we were going to be. So good and bad. And we may come ahead on revenues this year. And looking at it, there's a good chance that we'll actually have higher revenues than we anticipated. Because when we put into the budget, we actually have a lot of account. So not much, but we'll definitely get 100% plus.
I know it's a little bit early, but what is the count looking like for next fall?
Well, it's just impossible. I mean, I'm going on the same count. We have a couple coming in, we hear about a couple going out, so it's just totally a throw of the dice. So we're looking at 87.1 for the FTEs.
Okay.
And right now, that looks to be exactly where we are. But it can change drastically down the road.
Do we have some communications?
I think we do, actually, somewhere.
I can report briefly on BOCES when the time comes.
All right. Mr. Strove, School Board. Here's from the Colorado Department of Treasury. Interest-free cash flow loan program for school districts that have cash flow deficits.
Hey, Mark, have you got the diplomas?
I give them Holly.
Okay.
Going back.
Yeah, for that,
Do we,
if you want to put them in there.
so we never approved the, we didn't approve the
Claims.
pay bills.
Yeah, pay bills.
I'll make a
Thank you.
motion to pay all bills.
I second that motion.
Those are with the diplomas,
Oh.
so they'll be folded.
Did we get our motion done to pay all the bills?
We just made the motion.
We
need
just
to
made a
call.
motion,
So just
okay.
us to haul it,
And,
put 'em in there.
did you second it, or you made the motion?
I did.
To the
You
back.
made the
I
mo-
seconded it.
And you seconded it? All right. Melanie,
Aye.
Damon,
Aye.
myself, yes, and Mark?
Yes.
Okay. This is from the Department of Treasury, and they say they'll loan us money. They said we didn't take any last year, but they'll still loan us some. So you might keep that in mind, that that program's available if,
The way that works, it is a payback, there's a it's a zero interest rate on that. And where that comes in, it's like now, the county is really late in getting us our tax money. And if we were in a situation, we didn't have the beginning fund balance that we did, we could ask the state to tide us over until we got the tax money.
But-
That's where you'd use something like that.
I have people call me on the phone, we'll loan you money, we'll loan you 100,000, we'll loan you 200,000. My first question is, am I gonna have to pay it back? And they always say yes, and I said, well, I guess we won't. Okay.
One of these days, you'll find that loaner.
I don't even wanna see this one, Bob.
No, you don't.
Oh, this is ugly, guys. This is Mr. Stroh and the school board.
No, you can't. Yeah, it's public knowledge. There's no-
I would like to inform you that I'm resigning from my position as the art woodshop teacher at Creede School District,
Oh,
effective at the end of the 2016-2017 school year. Thank you for the opportunities and support that you have given me over the last 8 years. I love Creede School, the people that work here, and the children that attend, but I have decided to pursue other interests. I will be attending Adams State full-time in the fall, working toward my master's degree in art with an emphasis on sculpture. Again, thank you for everything. Working at Creede Schools has been a very positive experience for me, and I will always cherish the time that I spent here. Please let me know if you need any help training another teacher for this position. Sincerely, Alicia Hess.
She got a full ride scholarship for her master's, but she has to be there full time, so.
That's awesome.
Well, that's good for her. I hope it's good for her, and I'm sure it will be.
She's-
But it's bad for us, isn't it?
Yeah. She's definitely one of the best teachers I've ever worked with.
Did you have any idea she was looking at this? Did you?
I've known her for a long time.
I just found out yesterday.
But there were a lot of other factors on that as well. So, but when this one came through and finalized it, when she got the scholarship, but she.
Will
has some other
she be
things coming
moving
up.
to Alamosa?
No, I think we're gonna have the kids next year.
That's what I was
I
wondering,
think we'll
yeah.
keep the kids for at least one more year.
Yeah.
She lives in South Fork. She'll stay
She
there.
lives in South Fork, so I think the kids will return, and she'll be commuting to Adams State from South Fork every day.
She's got a child that's old enough to drive, doesn't she?
Elias?
Pretty soon.
Yeah,
Pretty soon, yeah.
But they can,
He's in
they can-
10th grade,
They can
you know,
authorize
somewhere
that.
10th, 11th grade.
Yeah.
So he'll be driving, yeah, I imagine so.
Well, shucks.
So one of the things I'll do is I will get hold of Liz, because this will fall on her, what she wants to do. You know, if she wants us to start advertising, we'll start advertising. Finding that position is gonna be a toughie, folks.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, but I'll probably give Liz a call tomorrow and say, here's the situation.
All right.
Give me some guidance and I'll get the ball rolling if you want me to. So.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, she's been good for our school, no question about it.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
if you haven't been
Kind of
next door, just look at
I
some of
just
the projects.
came through
the
there,
kids have
yeah.
done. That's just a sampling of what they do.
Yeah.
we kind of built the whole school around that program, really, when
Well,
it comes to.
Yes, we do.
We did.
Well,
I mean, those two rooms
And-
are designed around her. Yeah.
that will that will give us an asset to entice another teacher. I don't know. It's going to be hard to find somebody that can do art and wood shop. You think, Mark? You know more about that than I do.
No, it'll be hard.
Yeah, we got, it's sad, it's good for her, and it's an opportunity for us to find
Problem
somebody,
is when you
find
have
somebody else.
the art, you can get you still get a license in Colorado. Industrial arts, there are no licenses in Colorado. You can't get one. So what she had to do, we had to get a special waiver through the state, and then she had to take classes down in Trinidad, and you will find few art teachers that do wood shop. And we're not metal shop, we are strictly
Right.
wood. So it's going to be a challenge.
Okay, well, maybe we'll look at it as an opportunity
That's the best way to look at
when
it.
we get so we can talk again.
And we've got time on our side here too.
We do.
It's not like she quit the mid-year on us or something. I think she's done this in as friendly a way as she could possibly
Sure.
do
And
this.
she could have waited till June 15th.
She
Yeah.
could have to let us know,
Yeah.
but she's let us know early here. Yeah. Good for her.
Now, Buck, what if we cannot find somebody?
Well, my guess is you should be able to find an art teacher. I'm hoping, and I say that because other districts have not found an art teacher to replace in their program. But if you can find an art teacher, maybe you just have art for a while until they can pick up on some classes, and the safety factor is the biggie. I mean,
Yeah.
you can always find somebody that knows how to turn on a table saw, but it's the teaching the safety aspect that keeps our insurance company and the students happy. So, you could bring somebody on board and say, look, in a year or two, we want you to be able to do both. So I would say that, hopefully that would be the worst case scenario.
My pet theory is there's an art teacher in the valley that's dying to move.
Say it louder, John.
My pet theory is there's an art teacher somewhere in the valley that can't wait to get out of where they are.
And Liz may have contacts too, that she may have somebody
Yeah.
Liz has 4 kids and is a teacher, art teacher, and wants to move from somewhere, so I think it's an opportunity. I think we need to be very thankful for what we've had.
Yeah,
Wish
you
her the
bet.
best, and
No question, yeah.
And the facility is great.
No,
The facility, it's
And
just,
Alicia may know somebody too. I mean, she's down.
I was
in college.
wondering about that.
She may be able to say, hey, by the way,
I've started that with
Yeah,
her,
yeah,
but I
me too.
don't want to say too much yet.
yeah.
But you
Not
did
to say-
suggest that to her at least. That,
She knows some art teachers in the valley that probably want to move,
Yeah,
but they probably don't do wood. Anyway, I'll tell you more about that off the record.
what,
yeah, it'll be recorded, so.
On the subject of art, where does the elementary art program stand?
Same as before. And they'll have somebody coming in next year.
Yeah, I had Eloise asking if we could free up Alicia to do some elementary art. And I said, I doubt it. When would she do it? Because she's got 6 hours a day. You don't want her to take her prep, which she uses pretty widely,
Oh, really?
and send her somewhere else to teach. Well, it's 4 hours on Thursday. I said, we can't. And I think
Yeah.
And in
she also
addition-
contacted Alicia, and she told her
Well,
She couldn't do it.
Alicia's only middle school, high school. She's not elementary certified.
she started in elementary though.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. But even with her replacement, it would have
No,
to
she
be-
just, it wouldn't happen that way. They're gonna have to find somebody like
Well,
that.
that's different because I was told that was going to continue exactly the same as we had it, only with a different teacher.
Well, they were looking to see if Alicia could do it, because everybody wants Alicia to be their art teacher. So I said, I
that's
doubt
out.
it, and then Alicia said no.
I'm not sure the rest of the group is on board with that, so anyway.
we
Further
can,
discussion.
we can get creative and do some stuff. I mean, I could rough things out in the shop with the power tools, and then kids could glue and sand or some things, and not have to. I mean,
Well,
to supplement the art.
I was
a little bit,
going to
whatever,
ask
we can
you
sell it.
about, now, say we found an art teacher that could do the art part. Could we have somebody like Mark come in
If the teacher was standing right next to him during the class, it was in the same class.
and teach a little bit of wood shop?
Mhm.
How to
But only if that teacher has some of those credentials, right?
No, it is, well, oh yeah, because we're back in the same boat. Because of that, we're going back. And it's the insurance that runs that one. not
Right,
the
yeah.
CE. They want to have
But,
somebody that's.
yeah,
I see what you're saying though.
so,
We can do projects, we can, if we have to, we can skirt turning on the power
Oh,
saw.
sure, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
And-
But when we have a substitute
Sculpture,
in our, nobody
wood
uses the
sculptures
machine.
and,
Yeah,
I,
that's not,
Yeah, like I
that's
said,
a-
it might be something you just don't have for 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While the person's getting the classes down, because Trinidad's been really good to us about having it. Because all the wood shops and industrial arts and the colleges are gone, they've yanked all the programs. So the only place you'll find a wood shop are the community colleges. And TSJC has been really good, so.
I'm willing to, whether I'm on the board or not on the board at that time, I'm willing to kick out some things.
what do you think you might get voted out?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna lose the election.
You better not,
Are you coming up for election?
You are
My term is up, yes.
Mark and David and Doc, all three of you.
The three of us?
Two ladies.
Three
stay,
amigos.
The males go.
All right.
are you scared?
Well, if I was running against you, I would be.
I'm a little nervous.
Mr.
Guys, how are you?
Better than Bud.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
At many levels.
Damon delegations?
From the BOCES, that was a special meeting that was called last month, not our normal meeting, so we didn't have our normal quantity of things to report on. But thank you for suggesting the Zoom. I suggested that to them. I'm going to zoom into tomorrow night's meeting, and that'll be good. The reason that special meeting was called is that BOCES is being sued. So, there you go. Student, a parent in, I want to say Monte Vista, and it's about a special needs child and their inability to meet the needs the parent thinks. It's kind
So
of,
it's not abused, they're just not serving the needs of the child.
that's what the parent claims, you know.
That's that new legislation that just went through, so
Yeah.
she predicted that.
Mm-hmm. That's what's going on. And apparently, we don't have water therapy available for him, and yoga classes, and all these other things that she thinks that this child has a right to through her public education,
Wow.
tax money.
The parent thinks it's not a professional
Yeah.
therapist thinks it's just the parent's opinion.
It's
So
the parent's
Monte Vista
opinion.
needs to build a pool for the water therapy.
Right.
Horseback riding.
No, that was one of them.
Oh, really?
Hipotherapy was suggested. A litany of complaints against
man.
BOCES for how they fell short.
What a can of worms that is
Did
gonna
you,
be.
did you get any feeling for,
Well, that's what I was saying last time, that the last time when I brought in that legislation, that could fall back on an individual district. If we have a severe needs student again, and you're not meeting it, that's where the money has to go. And that's the federal mandate, that would precede the state, that you'd have to provide that. Same reason we had to get the white bus, and you don't get reimbursed. That's money out of pocket.
did you get a feeling, Damon, for whether these parents are troublemakers or whether they have real concerns?
No, this is definitely a situation that they've been tracking for a long time, so I understand, yeah. I can't say a whole lot more,
Right, I understand.
but that's the reason for the meeting is that, so. I don't know that it'll come back to affect our, I think they'll do okay. In negotiations, they seem to think so.
BOCES has some top caliber attorneys to
Yeah.
use capital nurse, just like we do. And they have folks that specialize in the special ed area.
Do you anticipate they'll go into mediation, negotiations, rather than
Yep.
going to court?
We think it's gonna be settled in mediation, yeah.
And in some ways, you'd rather see them go to court and lose. You know, that's
Yeah.
a little bit of a more definitive thing. When you go into mediation, then the
Move to
next
a
person,
district.
you obviously are gonna have to give something in mediation,
Yeah.
even if it's small, but the next person then says, well, let's go for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's too bad. That's, Anything else, David?
No, nothing else. from
Thank you for doing that, and thank you for, do you think the Skype deal is gonna work?
I think so. I haven't tried it yet. We'll see tomorrow night.
It's like.
Yeah, I've never done the Zoom.
Insurers, same
Yeah.
thing.
So they had someone call in at the last meeting, you know. And I'm always glad when I get to those meetings. I realize it's good that we're here. This is good information. This is, you know,
Sure.
a good cooperative to belong to. But for the entire hour and a half drive down there, I'm thinking this is ridiculous.
And
I gotta figure out a better way.
When you
I know.
get done,
Yeah, on the
you
way
have to
home.
drive an hour and a half back.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So
Yeah, I understand. Well, where are the guys from the best projects, I'm sorry.
Somebody over there has got the floor.
He's got the
Okay,
floor?
So,
All right.
we've come across some challenges in the bus barn. I have some ideas. The firewall detail for the 1 hour rating is possibly the worst detail ever drawn. Cost is insurmountable. It's massive. And one of the issues we ran into, speaking of your white activity bus, is where it is planned in the building where the future classroom wall is. It's approximately 2.5 inches of room. So as an athletic director, people randomly driving that, it could be kind of a dangerous situation. And since it's a future classroom, what we're proposing to do, state will approve it, is to remove the transition in the wall for the future classroom to where you have a storage room and bathroom. And that way you could put both activity buses end to end and then both school buses beside that.
I actually just talked to him. So that's okay.
And for the time being, the classroom in the future, it's literally one transitional wall. Whereas I would think that you would want more parking for what you have for the current use, was our idea, and it changes a lot of the dimensions on the 1 hour fire rating. It makes it a lot more possible to get completed and done. So that's,
I talked to a guy in Maine yesterday and he finally kind of gave me an answer. I also talked to, it's a UL listing is what we're gonna build. We've gotta follow a UL code. The whole deal is the roof's supposed to flex 2 inches. Because if it flexes 2 inches, I'm gonna be on the phone with somebody, but the state says the building will flex up to 2 inches up and down. So I can't crush the wall. Even though it's a non-bearing wall, well, it absolutely has to be a non-bearing wall, otherwise our roof would crush it. I guess. I have to squeeze the insulations up there within 3/8 of an inch. Well, so I finally called the guy that developed this wall and actually burned it to get the UL listing. I thought it was kind of funny, it was on Hitler's birthday, but that's just me. Actually was. But, never mind. What I told him, I said, we have 12-inch insulation, what do I do? He said, I don't know. And I said, well, you people are kind of the one that develops this stuff. What do I do? I don't know. So he finally got me in touch with an insulation guy in Maine that sells all the steel building insulation. He said it's doable. He says it's ridiculous. He said the lower level layer, you know, the bottom 6 inches is put in afterwards. In other words, the top 6 inches went over the purlins. Purlins are the steel horizontal. The bottom 6 inches is put in flush with the bottom. Well, I've got to get rid of that, let it droop, take my wall clear to the ceiling, literally within 3/8 of an inch. Which I don't know.
to the roof metal,
To the roof metal. Sorry.
which if you squeeze the insulation that far, you're gonna deflect the roof metal and you're gonna have, absolutely.
But we have no choice. I mean, we just have no choice. If the building leaks, then if it condensates, I don't know what to tell y'all. I think I figured out, after talking to that guy, he said, you can insulate up in that wall and keep from a heat transfer situation. But he said this is absolutely the most ridiculous cure for a non-problem known to man. And the state's just saying, well, there's your choices. That's how you have to do it. So I'm progressing on it. We got one more little detail to work out, but I think we'd like to give you guys a tour, but I really think if you're thinking about a welding shop or anything in the future out there, why do you want a wall right now? Why do you want your limitations as far as blocking off that classroom?
So what we're really saying, Dick, is let's don't do the classroom right now.
Yeah. and
Wasn't that the
perfectly-
original plan?
Yes, somehow
But,
we got away from it.
but down the road, if they put in a wall, wouldn't that be the same obstacle at that point that you're facing
Absolutely.
now? So,
He told me, he said at that point in time, you gotta revisit it.
so it'll be the same headache then that you're having now.
It will, and I'm,
Unless they change the code somewhere.
yeah, probably.
Probably make it worse, yeah.
It'll probably have to go through the roof and then you gotta go
Yeah.
around.
When I went to Wyotech and all of our diesel programs and our welding programs, our classroom was essentially a knockout of the shop. That it was open air to the shop. It was kind of a neat learning area because if you're going to do a shop project, you walk into the shop, show it, you go back to the classroom, learn about it, and it's very wide open. And that's the way their entire school is designed. And I would prefer it that way if there's a shop program myself.
I'm ready to scrap the wall before having to go.
Well, I would
forward.
like everybody to look at it,
Before we scrap the wall.
yeah.
Have you already got it
I
up?
would like to have a field trip.
I'm ready to go on a field trip. I mean, it's not January.
Right.
And we have a small field trip in Holly's office of our sample of the track material we've came up with.
Maybe you should explain that before we go on something.
Okay, so we've changed a little bit. Buck's been on board with this. Originally, we were doing the pine vine emulsion, and the more we look at it, more people I talk to, they're runners. The surface being that hard is not exactly ideal for running. And beyond that, it requires a yearly spray for maintenance, so it's more cost to the school district. And I think a dirt running track like what I've got here is infill material. It's 60% lava chips and then 40% clay as a binder. And it's resilient to water and moisture, and yearly the county could come out, grade it and roll it and renew the surface if it needed it. I think the surface is going to be pretty resilient to damage, especially with just runners. So that's the direction we've shifted towards on that, and look at it and get everybody's opinion and see what everyone thinks.
Okay.
Do you ever get a chance to call Olathe?
Olathe, yes.
So what did he say?
They their track is this mix 60-40. It's only available in Grand Junction, but we can blend it in Alamosa.
Now, the facility manager at the other school, when they brought it in, they said they tried to match it and they couldn't, and it's terrible.
That was a direct pit run out of Gunnison. There was no blended mixture.
So there was no clay.
It was just a crushed
Gotcha.
mixture, and what they said is there was too much granite, and it would just wash out on top, where running on pebbles, and so. But Olathe, they're getting ready to change theirs out there. The only middle school, I think he said, that's 3A or 4A that doesn't have a synthetic track. So the only reason they're ditching it is to go pavement and then rubber compounded. And their track project is $5.5 million.
Should have done that.
And all they're doing is resurfacing?
Resurfacing, adding bleachers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Back to the building, is Best gonna be okay with taking away from the original plans?
Did you guys check with that?
What,
Is Best gonna be okay, not doing the project as was proposed on the plans?
Well, I guess best is a question, but, well, truthfully, original, right out of the box, we was gonna leave out walls till that final decision was made, so I assume it'd be okay with best, but
and it is a design build contract, since I believe we'll be able to modify that as long as we have school board approval and we're building what's in the best interest of the district. I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
So I don't know, I'm just thinking, if we're still up to grabs a little bit of what that classroom's gonna be for, if you got a welding shop out there, my opinion is, why close it in? You just have more exhaust and,
The probability is it wouldn't be welding, it'd be an actual classroom.
okay,
That would have to have a wall at some point.
sure. And if that's the case, that's fine. I don't know, everything we do seems like kind of run into an ordeal, but anyway, I think we'll get a better feel for it when we go out there.
We've got someone planning to meet us at this meeting, so we'll have to make it quick, right?
Okay.
Molly's coming, and we don't know exactly when. Whenever the kids fall asleep.
It's- You need to have some kind of an approval from the board today, don't you?
Well, it'd be nice to get headed down the right road.
We can vote on it. I'm ready to vote on it now. I don't know if the other board members feel like they need to see it
Problem is
first.
We got presentations coming in, and they're on a time schedule.
Well, you know what, I would
Because
say,
it makes sense. I know the regulations aren't going to change
Well, it's
between
only
now
gonna
and
take
when.
10 minutes to go see it, isn't it?
yeah, I got the walls stamped out where you can tell
Right
where they
there.
are.
Should we go?
Let's go.
What are we looking at, 2 walls?
Yeah, I've just got walls snapped out
Yeah,
to see what y'all think. The classroom looks too
Go with
big.
us and take notes, I guess. How are we gonna handle the,
You can't, it's plugged in, so you can.
no, I mean,
Just pause it.
yeah,
There you go.
we're back from our,
But we could move things around.
Field trip.
Get Brooke in here, so she can get her bid done. And then John could be tabled.
I would move that we postpone any construction on bus barn walls whose sole purpose is classroom at this point.
I second.
Did I say that all right?
I'm thinking about it.
Because all the other walls that
Yeah,
serve other purposes are
Yeah,
going forward.
yeah,
If there's a wall
yeah.
whose sole purpose was classroom, we
I think that's okay, yeah.
Well, the one advantage, I'm sorry, don't mean to resell
Where-
it, but if we do that other wall later, I want to represent it with the loft up there. You
Yeah.
got some extra storage.
sure.
Right now, if I had to stop and do that,
Yeah.
I'll never get done.
Right.
Dusted yet, no.
Okay. Assuming you would get the bid for that wall.
I really was hoping Frank Freer or somebody did it.
It might just be too big.
There's a motion on the floor.
There is a motion on the floor. Melanie,
Aye.
Damon,
Aye.
myself, yes. And Mark,
yes.
motion carried.
We're out of here. Let's go party.
Thank you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys,
also.
we sure
Thanks for that
appreciate you.
explanation.
Thank you.
you.
Good.
Good.
You don't need us to vote on that track service. You guys know what to do there.
Well, I think check it out, get everybody's opinion. We don't need that right away. But if
They've
it,
got 2-3 weeks where they can even mix it for us.
Have you gone over to look at it in person, flesh?
no, I have been to the Alamosa track in the baseball ring, and that's where this material will come from, but I have not been to the one that the material's coming from.
I'm just wondering if it would be beneficial to send Nancy and, or whoever, or to actually look at it.
Kim was
to make
real
sure.
concerned. Kim was real concerned.
Why would she be concerned? But I could see sending Nancy and somebody over, so I'll give
The
you.
logistics of that get a little difficult pricing wise, since it's a, one trip is 10 hours round trip. So it adds a lot of cost to the material transportation.
Right.
Believe it or not, this stuff's on a 10-yard truck would be how much?
690 without any fuel or maintenance.
So what you're proposing is what they have in Alamosa by the baseball field? That's what you're looking at?
Yes,
Okay, so.
and they blended it RMMPT,
RMMP.
RMMP.
Mighty Mountain.
And it's got the heavy clay base, which was the concern of Olathe not
It's,
having.
it's clay and lava rock based.
Well, we'll get Nancy to run down, take a gander at it, and
Okay.
get some other folks that know something about track to look at it too.
And the reason this one has a little bit more rock in it is because Alamosa wanted a finer red color. And so the only way they can achieve that is by adding more rock versus less
But it's
clay.
still the 3/8 inch that we were talking about?
Yes.
Same size.
Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate your time.
I think we can go with whatever you and Nancy are comfortable with, if they have to make
Yeah,
a
I
decision.
do too.
Yeah.
Molly, thank you for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Am I up?
You are.
Okay. This is my wife too.
Oh, thank you.
I brought my thing on the flash drive and I put it like, I don't know. Up to y'all.
You got your computer? Boom, there you go. You need
Thank
just
you.
a regular size HDMI or mini?
Yep.
Yeah, just plug that for you.
I don't think we've ever had anyone come to address us with a flash drive presentation
It's a big
before.
deal.
It is a big deal.
I feel like I'm in college all over again.
Condolences on your grandmother.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we're realizing it's hard when you're not right there.
Yeah, it is.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh,
So, how are you feeling?
It's peachy. I did this the other day, so I know one of these is HD. Oh, that's probably it. The butt's plugged in, but we'll plug them in later.
Sherry just sent us a reminder.
Test going, right?
Yes.
Now I need the remote, wherever that went. There it is.
Buck, how did you do that? To your arm, shoulder?
Kayaking on Sunday. About beautiful stuff.
Do you want me to hit it or you gonna hit it?
I can do whatever.
It's your
Come
show.
over here.
Okay.
Move
You're
it.
good. You're fine.
Oh, did you get this to work?
I did. It's perfect.
And it Bluetooths
Yeah.
and you charge it
I
up?
hooked right up to it.
Well,
It's
I'll be done.
perfect.
Good for you.
Okay, so how do I?
Oh, let's try it. Function F8.
Oh, no. Oh,
Here. And then you gotta select duplicate.
This is not my thing.
You're gonna have to do that.
Oh, it's a,
Did we get any duplicate on there? No.
Function F8. You could try that.
There we go, and then hit duplicate.
There we go.
yeah. Okay. So they asked me to just come and kind of update you on how we've been evaluating our kids in preschool, and then just a little bit of a program update as far as kind of what this year consisted of for us. So we are using, and y'all are probably familiar with it, this evaluating system called Teaching Strategies Gold. And so basically what it allows me to do is just track all of my kids in all the different developmental levels, and it helps me to see kind of where they're at, where they need to be, who's falling behind, and it lays it out really well, and it's easy for me to kind of document them. Some people refer to it as TSG, so you might see that some through the slides. Another really cool thing about Teaching Strategies Gold is that it also connects with our curriculum that we're implementing right now called Creative Curriculum. And so what it'll actually do is, like when I'm planning my lessons, it'll say, okay, you're going to do this activity today. Actually, you can evaluate them on this certain dimension. So it's like basically lays it out there for you. And it says, you're going to teach this and you can also observe them on this. So that's really one really nice thing about that. So when I log into Teaching Strategies Gold, it gives me 9 categories. So there's social emotional, physical, language, cognitive, literacy, math, science and technology, social studies, and arts. Then each of those categories are broken down into objectives and dimensions. So like the first objective under social emotional would be like regulates on emotions and behaviors. Dimension A would be manages feelings. So I would try and observe a child managing their own feelings. And so like example, I would see 2 kids playing together and one of them would say, you took my Play-Doh from me, that made me really mad. And they would come up to me and say, I really need help with solving this problem. And immediately I would know, right here, that they would go under comforts themselves by seeking out special object or person. So this is what it looks like when I'm documenting them. The 3-year-olds are falling under the green band, and the 4-year-olds or 5-year-olds are falling under the blue band. So if they're excelling a little bit, they'll be in purple, and if they're falling behind a little bit, they'll be in yellow. And it kind of gives you this broad spectrum that it doesn't have to fit just exactly right in there. So that's really nice. So this is an example of something fun we did this year. This was in March, and we did like a shamrock relay game. And just from this one game, I was able to observe, demonstrates traveling skills, follows directions, attends and engages, persists, solves problems, recognizes, and recalls. And they had a lot of fun racing in class. We don't usually get to run in class, so that was a big deal. So after I get my documentation in, I'll go to something called a checkpoint. And basically they want me to take all the documentation I've gathered and say, I'm going to place them right here for this checkpoint. And there's 3 checkpoints. There's spring, there's fall, winter, and spring. And so like if there's 2 documentations, I might put them right in the middle and just say, I think that's where they're going to fall this time. After I've documented them and done my checkpoints, I can then generate reports. So these have been really helpful in parent-teacher conferences. I'm able to pull them out and say, this is where your child's at. It's really cool too because it shows you where they were on the last checkpoint. So I can say, they've come this far since the fall, or they've come this far since the winter, or they've actually fallen behind a little bit. Let's talk about what we can do to get them excited about this again. And I can kind of give parents ideas of what I'm doing, and they can kind of implement those same things at home. It's really cool to see the changes from one checkpoint to another and see all the growth that they're having. There's Penny painting. So I think it's been really helpful. For me, this is my first year having to document and evaluate kids, and it's keeping me on track, it's keeping me accountable, and it's helped me, it's made it really easy. And it's made it really fun. And another thing is I just got the iPad at preschool, and so when I take their picture, it just automatically loads it onto the TSG site.
Thank you.
And it'll just be there. When I'm ready to put in the documentation, I can just tag the picture on in. And they really like to see pictures and videos as they're going through your documentation. Aaron and I went to the regional CPP meeting in Pueblo I guess it was a couple weeks ago. And I was just going to read you some fun facts that we got from the CPP meeting. So CPP graduates are actually more likely to meet or exceed expectations in most subject areas compared to their peers who have no history of public preschool. I thought that was pretty cool. Female children funded by CPP score significantly higher than male children funded by CPP in all 6 major developmental levels. And then another cool fact was that children funded by CPP are more likely to function within age expectations by the end of the school year in physical development than any other areas. This is one of the reports I generated, and I thought it was really cool because it kind of shows our growth. The slide over here on the left was from the fall, I believe, yeah. And it's kind of small, but it's telling me that what percentage of my children are meeting my goals, which ones are falling below, and which ones are excelling. And there were some that were falling below when we started this, and they were mostly meeting, not many exceeding. And then when I generated the report for the winter checkpoint, they're either all meeting or all excelling now. So that was cool to see. And then I had to put some pictures on here. This is some highlights from our year. We talked a lot about recycling, and we actually got to put our recycling stuff in the trash can, or the trash truck, and the guy was really friendly, and he kind of gave us a little lesson on recycling. We had pajama day, and they've all asked several times if we're going to have pajama day again. We had a field trip to the Kite Festival in Alamosa. We were able to do a lot of things with our community. These are just some of our favorites. We put our tiny town on display at Downstream Gas, and I'm sure you saw it there. They had a lot of fun making that. We did Pumpkins on Parade at MJ's, and they were able to vote on their favorite pumpkin. Joni came and visited us and talked about the clinic and keeping our bodies healthy. And then the fire department also came, and we got to tour the fire truck and try on the gear, and that was really fun for them. These are just some of them doing some things during class. The top right, they came up with this great idea to ice skate inside, and so we used paper plates to slide around, and they wanted to do that every day. But I had Catherine paper macheing, and she would leave school and come here with just like paper mache kicked in her hair. Sawyer's favorite thing, I had to put that in there, is cooking, and he loves to be in the kitchen center. And then the bottom picture, Junie actually drew that, and I thought that was such a cute little picture. That was his favorite place in our whole community, was the Creede Learning Center. So we've had an amazing year. We think we could have up to 12 preschoolers for the fall, and there will be 4 preschoolers coming to the big school for kindergarten.
Nice.
That's it. Anybody have any questions or?
The fun fact about female students outperforming male students.
I had to slide it in there.
No,
And it didn't give any reasoning. That's just what it said.
That's the way it is.
But is there not a whole kind of body of research developing about how young men are challenged in traditional classroom environments, and those 6 dimensions that the females are outscoring them on? It doesn't surprise me that the girls are ahead of the boys,
Yeah.
because I've got girls and boys that are close. But yeah, isn't there a whole body of research
Yeah,
on that?
I think there
Can you
is.
brief us on that, and what is
I don't really know much about it. I just know that they're saying that boys are developing faster in like physical, like gross motor, large motor manipulation kind of things. So they're better at throwing balls, they're better at jumping, they're better at skipping, balancing, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Whereas the women are kind of taking a step up in like math or something like that. So it's kind of a balance out, I think, and I haven't really looked into it very much. I just saw that fact on there. But from what I've read, that's kind of what I've seen.
The boys mature at about 25.
Really?
So Casey has 1 more year. I'm just kidding.
Those are
Just
late
kidding.
bloomer, I guess.
But
Okay.
yeah.
You guys are doing incredible work out there.
Well, thank you. I
Incredible
appreciate
work.
it.
We appreciate you very much. It's so
thank y'all.
important what you
Thank
guys
y'all.
are doing.
I appreciate it.
And we appreciate you coming in and sharing with us too.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad it was informative.
It's helpful to
Good.
us.
I'm glad. If you ever have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm gonna have to look into that more now that you're talking about it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I have to send you something on it.
Do you have some stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
interested. Anything?
I've looked into it a lot, but I have some stuff on my computer that I can send you.
Mhm.
And you can
That'd be
look at
great.
it.
Yeah. I
Okay.
appreciate that. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, my kiddos are napping, so I'm gonna head back.
All right.
You hope that they're napping.
I hope. I
Yeah.
mean, who knows? They could all be up by now. We'll see.
Thank you for bringing
Thank
the
y'all for
Thank you,
having
Molly.
me.
Yep. Thank you,
Bye.
Molly.
Bye.
See, it was the CPP funded girls, the CPP girls that weren't funded didn't have.
Didn't outperform the boys? I think
Money.
it's all about the money.
Is it my turn?
What do you think? Should we have Brooke come in first and
Sure.
then we follow just in case we're
Okay.
running out of time? And I want to get, in fact, we can table John if need be. We have Brooke and then I have Lauren too, and they're both on a time schedule.
Okay. Whatever they need.
I did talk to Dick about the plumbing and not heating that building. And he was gonna try to get the plumber to do downhill sloping and so it could be drained.
You did talk to him about it, I know we had
And then
talked about it before, what did he
blown out.
say?
He said he can't do anything about it, anything's in the concrete, but I'll have the plumber, try and slope towards the drain.
So we can
We'll have to blow it
winterize,
out, yeah.
Yeah,
blow back to the outside valve probably. So if he can install a port for that, it'd be handy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there's a stock and waste or something outside that we could,
Those valves on the outside do waste back out. And yeah, we'd have to blow down through the concrete.
but we'll need an air compressor, which we'll probably need one anyway. Eventually, to air bus tires.
I'm going to talk to you about the fence this weekend. Were you going to be available to help with the fence at the Early Learning Center?
I don't know if and Kyle Michaels can't come until Sunday, he said.
And I don't think we can get all that done on Sunday. We've got to put the new one in before the old one in.
how are you this afternoon?
Good, how are you?
Good, welcome.
Hi.
Hey, Miss Brooke.
Hi. Did you just want me to start?
Sure, introduce yourself so everybody knows who you are. Do you know everybody here?
I think so. Pretty sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Guess that's a yes.
Okay, I'm Brooke. I'm the 10th grade student council representative. I'm here to talk about things that have been happening in the school and in student council. So first, prom was a big success and it went pretty smooth. A big thank you to the boosters for providing food and drinks, and the sheriff's office for providing after prom, and Melanie Friedel and Jen Harbert for taking pictures, and for Mrs. Zier and the junior class for setting up and taking down prom. Some accomplishments of students in the school is Casper Friedel, Rainer von Diedenroth, Olivia Madrid, all qualified for state track. Casper is going for high jump, 200-meter run, and discus. Rainer is going for pole vault and discus. Olivia is going for discus. Jennifer Kemper, Savannah Wilson, Kendra Yund, and myself got accepted into the National Honor Society. For art awards, Kendra Yund got second place in the Congressional Art Show and got a $1,000 scholarship to Adams State.
Who was that?
Kendra Yund.
Oh, good.
Mamie Hess got second in the Scholastic Show. Eileen Evolf got honorable mention. Mamie Hess got first at the SLV Museum Show. Lindsay Gimmel got second. Stephen Filippi got second. John Twite got third. Sophia Branda got third overall in the SPL All Valley Show. And also, since the warranty for the school is almost up, Student Council put up a paper asking for suggestions on what needs to be done to the school, and some things include some toilets don't flush or they leak, locker rooms and bleachers need maintenance, leaky ceiling in gym, somehow soundproof the classrooms, paint touch-up, water leaks under wood shop door, water pressure is weak, hand dryers don't always work, heating system isn't constant.
So what that is, I asked the student council to check and produce, since we're gonna be under
That's
warranty by August. Let's
That's
get
a
a
good
whole
idea.
list in and get them in right away, so they've been great
That's a
going.
great idea.
Okay, and finally, the academic and athletic award ceremony is May 23rd at 4:30, and graduation is June 1st at 7 o'clock.
And tonight is,
the spring concert or something.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect.
I don't have to do a principal report, she covered
You
everything
just got the
else.
whole thing. That was
Rock
perfect.
the hood.
Do you have the name of our graduates this year?
Eileen Egoff, Luciana Branda, and Alyssa Gaunt and Tommy Meyer.
Mayor.
All right.
Did I do okay?
You're not through yet.
I'm not.
No.
Okay.
I want to ask you a little bit about prom. Where did you have prom?
It was at the community center in the cave.
Do you like, and do most of the students, you're speaking for the students,
Yeah.
do they like to go to the community center? I've always been a little disappointed that we didn't have prom in our new school.
Yeah.
What's the feeling among the kids on that?
I think they liked it. I thought they thought that the decorations were nice, and we had a Star Wars prom, so the cave feeling was pretty good for that.
Sure.
I don't know. I think it's pretty good.
Well, it was their choice, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was our choice.
But they weren't disappointed in their choice,
I
you
don't
don't
think
think? Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
The Star Wars theme really worked well in
Yeah.
the cave.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so
It
too.
was fun.
But another class might want to do it in the commons,
Yeah.
maybe.
Are we still alternating every year with Lake City on prom?
Well, I'm gonna say yes, but
That has to be.
they
voted
did
on.
one, we did one, now it'll be their turn again. And I think it's gonna go like that.
Yeah.
I kinda hope so.
Did you go to the Lake City prom last year?
Yes, I did.
Was ours better?
Ours is better, of course.
Why was ours better?
What?
Why was ours better?
I don't know.
We just have more resources, volunteers, and help and everything.
Yeah, I just really like those. Yeah.
More kids dancing. that
Yeah,
kind of thing.
I
Better
actually
music
liked the
taste.
location of the prom. I thought it was nice, and the decorations were nice. Pretty nice.
Did you behave?
Of course.
Oh, good.
Ask me later.
Yeah.
That's in his report.
Yeah.
It's in my report.
Thank you, Brooke.
You're welcome.
Yes, we appreciate very much hearing from you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know sometimes you come in a little bit nervous,
Yeah.
but you don't need to be nervous.
Okay.
And that's part of why we're doing this, is so that you guys will feel comfortable
Yeah.
talking to us, you know.
Yeah.
Because
Thank you.
it is your school,
Yeah.
and you're the one that has to be here every day, not us. So,
True.
yeah, we appreciate you very much. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Good job, Brooke.
Look.
We'll see you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brooke.
You're
But
welcome.
it's only, you can start applying in 10th grade, and you can apply
Can we
again.
table John one more time and have Lauren come in and do the grant? She needs to. She does some stuff. Yeah, if we could scoot you down.
Yeah, okay, right.
Oh, yeah.
You can scoot me down if you want, I mean.
Well, she
Well, we don't want to.
Oh,
yeah.
She's playing volleyball and basketball. She's just doing it.
They're growing.
We need to do our second reading on our policies and talk a little bit about this board retreat too.
The record should show that I'm really upset that Casper didn't apply for National Honor Society. He's gonna hear it from me when I get home.
I was surprised, but he wasn't the only one. There were two
Furious.
others that I thought, why would you not have applied?
I'm,
Yeah, so, and encouragement was there.
oh, I'm sure it
It
was.
was that, really, what? So in fact, I was just talking with another student today, make sure you apply next year.
Maybe he won't go to the
promised me
state
he
track
would.
meet.
Well, he still has time to get on there. You know, he'll be fine,
You kinda got a mean look in your eye, Mom.
Heads are gonna roll. It's all
but-
right.
Oh, you didn't know until today he didn't apply?
No.
Oh.
We just heard from the preschool teacher that boys are better with gross motor skills. Okay.
Which is why he's going to state track
Not
meets
so much
instead of
as
National Honor
academic stuff.
Society.
Yeah.
Right. Testing, not so much. Gross motor skills, yeah.
Still
I had no
has some-
idea.
Still has some pretty high aspirations, too, so.
Hello, Lauren.
Hi, hello. How are
Thank you for being here, Lauren. We
I'm
appreciate
not
it.
Erin.
It's okay.
I just saw part of your
Yeah.
face.
It
As soon as
happens
you
from
turned and I
behind.
saw your face. She was in that chair the last time, so I'm just
This
thinking
is
that is
indeed
her chair.
You're right.
Yeah, I see it here.
All right.
That's just John's computer.
Oh, I can get that
I'll
out.
just kind of close
It's not
it.
in my way.
Can I close it?
Sure.
Okay. Well, hi, everybody.
Hi.
So I'm back again to talk about another grant opportunity that we have that's really quite amazing. It's called the School Health Professional Grant. And it's a grant that, if awarded, would give a minimum of $80,000 a year for 3 years. I know. And the grant is very specific about what it'll pay for. It will pay for the hiring of either a school nurse, a school psychologist, a social worker, or school counselor, all of which have to be certified by the state of Colorado and licensed and, you know, have degrees in that and have passed the place test and everything that they would need to do to be considered highly qualified. It also will pay for curriculum for K-12 students. That would be for all kinds of behavioral issues that could be anywhere from anti-bullying, that kind of thing, to drug prevention, which is kind of the shift that we're taking, because there's a lot of research that shows that the earlier you start talking to kids about drugs and alcohol and tobacco, the more likely they are to not make those kinds of decisions as they grow older. But the curriculum that we're going to try and purchase is for K-12, so it's certainly very age appropriate to all of those grade levels, and has been highly recommended and shown to be really effective at preventing any kind of substance abuse.
Is this classroom material, classroom-based material?
Right.
Yeah.
And the training also would include that the professional that we hire, the school professional, health professional that we would hire to be trained in teaching the curriculum. It also will pay for our school wellness team, which for purposes of this grant is only 6 people. It's smaller than the broader school wellness team. That's for the other grant. So it's going to be a little bit complicated to not get the two grants confused. But this one, called the School Health Professional Grant, is specifically geared towards this person, what they would do, the services they would provide in a small health team.
Does that include sex education?
No, it doesn't include,
No.
it's not for that. However, with the focus on substance prevention and or services for abuse that this grant would provide, if that's something that our school health and wellness team wants to go for with the other grant, then that's
see.
something that we can pick.
Okay.
So the other grant covers 9 areas of social emotional wellness. This one is really mostly geared towards substance abuse prevention.
Now, Lauren, one person, 80,000, 3 years. Is
Per
that
year.
what I heard?
Well,
Yeah,
let me-
80,000 per year.
Okay, so before I get too ahead of
Okay.
myself, let me pass this out so I can, and there's the signature page that Dr. Howard just needs to sign, by the way. It probably would be the simplest thing of all. I made a copy for all of you of the whole grant, which is probably a lot more information than you want, but so that you know what's all involved with it. I made a copy for everybody. That's everything all together. You
Thank
don't
you
really
very
have that
much.
yet. You're welcome. Okay, did everybody get, John? You need it, or is that everybody? Okay. So the first bit is just the assurances form that says if we get the money, that we'll do what the requirements of the grant tell us we have to do. The second part is just some basic information from our school. If you go to the page that says executive summary, this is kind of in a nutshell page of the very long narrative of what we would try to go for. And you'll probably want to take some time to look over this, but if you just look at the very last paragraph for now, that's where we kind of wrapped it up, that we would want to be able, that our vision would be to have a full-time school health professional. We don't have a full-time nurse, a school psychologist, a social worker, or a, what's the other one? Nurse, social worker, school psychologist, or a school counselor. And so what we would hope to do, because of our numbers, is to have one person that could kind of cover all that stuff in addition to our part-time nurse. Does that make sense? So because we have a really small, we're going to have a very small talent pool of people to try to find the highly qualified person that will have to fit this job description. I wrote the grant so that it could be, it could end up being one of either of those, okay? Just to keep it more flexible, because we don't really know who we're going to attract, you know, in this process. So, let's see. So we would want to hire the full-time person. We would want to provide the comprehensive substance abuse prevention to meet current health standards and educate our kids, and then have all the training that would be necessary for everybody to make sure that it was done correctly and done well. So that's the smallest bit of all this that I can tell you, but please take this with you. You're welcome to read the executive, well, all of it, but the executive summary is in a nutshell. The narrative is the longer, much more detailed part. So the narrative is 7 pages long. It goes into a lot of detail. It's here. It talks about the training. It talks about the specific curriculum that we would want to get. It talks about what our goals would be and who would be responsible for making sure that those goals were accomplished, and then how we're going to work with community partnerships, the accountability that the leadership would have to make sure that all of these things take place, and then just kind of wraps it up there at the end. And then beyond that, there's a budget narrative that breaks it down more specifically for year 1, 2, 3, what we're asking for, and then it really gets into the budget, which may or may not make sense to you, but.
Can I ask you, what we're holding is the application. This is your
the
completed application.
This is the
You've been
completed
working on this
application.
for a while.
Yeah.
Right.
It's probably about 30 hours of.
I can imagine.
And so this is the completed application that I intend, if it's due tomorrow, so I'll either turn it in later today or for sure tomorrow. It's due by tomorrow at midnight.
What do you think our chances of getting this? What's the competition?
It is a competitive grant. The other one that I applied for was not a competitive grant. It was kind of, you fill it out, you're going to get the money. This is competitive. I think our chances are really very good because of our remoteness, our ruralness, and because we don't have the criteria. We don't have anybody that fills the criteria that they recommend a ratio of school health professionals to students. They recommend, and I can tell you what that is. I'll put that, it's in here. And I hope I've made a good enough case that Buck said he'd give me the money.
Yeah.
Here's, let me find that little bit here. Okay. The recommendation, and this is from the Center for Disease Control, recommends one nurse to every 750 kids. Okay, we have a nurse who's here part-time. We've got that one covered. A social worker, the National Social Worker Model recommends one social worker for every 250 students. National Association of School Psychologists recommends one school psychologist for every 500 students. And the American School Counselor Association recommends one school counselor to every 250 students. And this school counselor is different from what Ann does. What Ann does is she's a mental health provider. This is talking about somebody who has a degree in school counseling, has a CDE certified licensure to be a school counselor, which is mental health and academic counseling combined together. So even though we only have about 90 kids, we're not covering all the bases. And so what this grant is hoping to provide is for all schools to have an opportunity to have a school health professional at their school that can make sure that children get all the spectrum of services that they would need, including being the person who would teach the curriculum to the class. It wouldn't be done by the classroom teachers. The curriculum would be taught by the school health professional that we would hire if we get a chance to, which I really hope we do.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It could be. It could be a really, really awesome thing.
And we actually have somebody, I'm sorry, you're not.
But no, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I understand that there's a possibility we have somebody who is extremely well qualified, actually going to be bringing her kids up next year, who is already working as our school psychologist for BOCES, that would fit all of these bills.
That's awesome.
She would, and she's really interested in doing
And
it.
she is an amazing, you know her. Amazing.
Exciting.
Yeah.
So if it all works, when do you hear back?
June 30th.
Oh my gosh.
So the person that he's referring to is a school psychologist, and I thought I've worked with a lot of school psychologists, but I copied off the definition just so I could tell you, because a school psychologist is really different from a psychologist or a psychiatrist. If you think of it, it's not that. A school psych is this: uniquely qualified member of school teams that support students' ability to learn and teachers' ability to teach. They apply expertise in mental health, learning, and behavior to help children and youth succeed academically, socially, behaviorally, and emotionally. So, pretty cool. And we have one who lives in South Fork who really would love to come work here. If we get this.
And well experienced. Her
And
background
very well
is
experienced.
amazing.
Yeah, she, in addition to what she's doing right now, she goes into schools and she helps with the special ed services, with the assessment, with the meetings, with the IEPs and so forth. But she's also had experience in direct support, whole class instruction, small group, one-on-one support, interventions, assessment and diagnostics, therapeutic and behavioral interventions, and her specialization area is prevention and early intervention. And she has 2 kids who are going to come here next year for kindergarten. Twins.
Wow.
So it's kind of falling into place. All we need now is for them to say, yes, you can have the money.
Yeah.
So way back in the back of that all that paperwork that I gave you, there's a budget summary page, and I just wanted to tell you, they wanted us to ask for a minimum of $80,000. I thought that was going to be really difficult to come up with, but it didn't turn out to be. So our total budget for year 1 is $82,742. Year 2, $90,139, and year 3, $71,916. So I made the minimum year 1 and 2. Year 3, I was even buying shirts and stuff, and I thought, okay, I've taken it as far as I can take it, you know. So I think they didn't say a maximum of 80, they said a minimum of 80. So if they tell me I need to spend more money, I'll go shopping and figure out something else.
Problem. Now, I might add this, if we went with the psychologist, counselor combination, we still have to have the nurse, and that's
Yeah.
still be a part-time. We're
Absolutely.
already budgeted for that, so.
Yeah. And they may say, they may come back, because I made it so that it was flexible. They may come back and say, what we really would prefer you do is figure out a way to have your nurse, and she's here at 0.3 FTE, a full-time person. And if they do that, we can advertise for a nurse. This is what we're going for,
Yeah.
and they may come back and say, we like what you're shooting for here, but here's what we would like for it to look like. And then we would just have to take it from that point and go from there. But there's a lot going on in Creede right now for health from all kinds of directions. From the, wow, I listed our community partners, and I couldn't even believe how many that there were. The SAD group, the Peak, Rock, the Creede Youth Camp, the Tobacco Coalition, and then SAD, yeah, them as well. And then plus we'll be able to do with the WISH grant that we are going to get as well. There's really a lot of momentum going in this direction. It's pretty exciting. That will involve not just the school, but the whole community. So, pretty cool.
Incredible. Thank you so much for doing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Jody was very helpful as well in all of this process. She's kind of the one that got the ball rolling, and then said, "Wait, I'm leaving."
Here, you take it. It's hot potato.
It was a hot potato and it landed in my bag.
Dang it.
You mentioned that the anticipated matching funds that the district intends to provide to augment the grant money received is $31,429.
Yeah, that's the .3 nurses' salary and benefits.
Okay, they consider that our matching funds on it? Okay, I see.
I hope they will. If they don't, I'll come up with something else.
All right.
Because there's a lot I could have written that I didn't, because we only needed 10%. It was a minimum of 10% to match.
Yeah.
So if we have to come up with something else, we could come up with office space, telephone.
Whatever we need.
Yeah, whatever we need to do, if they would prefer it to be a different type of thing. That's a good question.
And I just had some typo kind of stuff.
Oh, thank
I'll do
you.
that.
Page 2. Thank you very much.
Page 2, yeah.
Okay, I'll make a note of that. Because I have looked at this so much.
I know
I'm
how that
kind of
gets.
cross-eyed
I know how
about it.
that gets, yeah.
Okay, page 2. Narrative.
Paragraph
Okay.
Paragraph 6.
Third prong. Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, any other questions that you have or concerns or?
We do appreciate your work on this.
Thanks,
Thank
Tom.
you.
You're very welcome.
Good luck.
Thanks. Thank you. Well, I'll turn it in and then
And-
kind of say la vie.
Yeah.
you know?
You said June the 30th?
We'll know June the
Yeah,
30th.
right.
That's the initial notification of award. It won't be formally approved until the state board meets in August, but that's kind of a formal hoop to jump. If they let us know June 30th that we have it, we do.
Who would
Yeah.
contact you?
They have my email. I'm the contact. Yeah, and so
You'd let us know by our July board meeting if it looks good, or you'd let the new superintendent know?
but I'll let you all know one way
Okay.
or the other.
Yeah.
And it's very likely they may come back and request some modifications.
Yeah.
You know, so if they do, then we'll just take it from there. But I hope they let me know before June 30th.
Yeah, right. That would be nice. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want me to add to that?
You did
Okay.
great, it's a super grant, that's a lot of time and effort, and
Thank
Yeah.
you.
your talent is
Thank you.
evident.
Thank you. All right, well, after you look over it, if you have any other questions or if you see any more typos, let me know.
Or is that
Yeah.
last one, that last
It
sentence
is.
too?
Okay, hold on. Same page.
Same paragraph, just
Okay.
the,
Oh, now you're making me nervous.
I know.
Okay.
I think sometimes I'm wrong about grammar too.
Okay, I'll check it
But,
out.
okay.
Thank you. Alrighty, I'll let you guys.
That's the modifications, I like that, the impact, it's good.
That made a difference. I appreciate your comment about that because I really liked the way it sounded a lot better after that. All right.
Nice job.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
And punctuation.
Shall we get the second readings of policies taken care of?
Each period.
And these, if I'm reading in the right place, these deal primarily with with privacy and protection of student information. And then evaluation of licensed personnel, and there's some notes on that, and then some changes in evaluation of licensed personnel, primarily to accommodate legal requirements.
Yeah, there was an act that came in, as you'll recall, House Bill 1423, and so a lot of these are modified to adhere to 1423. And then on the evaluation, it was just, we had 2 new statutes that we had to make sure that our evaluation system was in compliance with the 2 new statutes, so it was just modified for those 2. So,
And then there's a school board meeting that is just a corrected building address, and I see when I came in, there was a pallet of toilet paper, I think, that had an address on it with the old school on it, so I expect that's a continual battle to get the address
it
changed.
is not a quick fix. Kind of like getting rid of Creede Consolidated.
Yeah,
We
right.
haven't been there for 12 years.
Yeah.
You still see it.
Are there any questions about the second reading for the policies?
Nope.
On this protection of information, Buck, are we in compliance with all that?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
I move we approve the policy second reading notes for May 16th, 2017.
Now, if I heard you correctly, you said to approve the notes,
I'm sorry.
but probably we want to approve the policies.
Let's approve the policies. I'm looking at the notes.
Yeah.
I move we approve the policies for May 17th,
Let's see, we
2017.
probably need to
Oh, I need the numbers. I'm sorry.
name those, yeah.
Boys, I'm rusty here. Policies GCO, GCO-R, JRCB, JRCB-R,
BE.
And BE is the one that changes the
and JRCBE,
building address.
No, just B.
or just B,
BE, Bravo Echo.
and policy BE. Pretty good?
I'll second that.
And everybody's comfortable with adopting those policies. Melanie,
Aye.
Damon,
Aye.
myself, yes, and Mark.
Yes.
Motion carried, policies are adopted. If we need to talk for just a moment about the board retreat, perhaps. Damon, the email that you sent me several days ago, I apologize, I've got to start looking at all those emails. I thought the posters, the advertisements were great. Thank you. And your wife helped with that?
Yeah, she helped. She was the main designer and instigator of all of that.
Tell
I
her,
might have helped.
tell her that we appreciate her doing that,
I will.
and we appreciate you helping too.
I will. She's volunteered to be there on Saturday, and I know Christine's going to open the building. And Kira's part's going to be to make sure that lunch is served and that money is collected.
And they will be here in the commons and maybe in the lecture room.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're thinking lecture room is what we were thinking.
yeah.
For that and commons for lunch.
Right.
So far, we have a few reservations through the SurveyMonkey. I think a handful through SurveyMonkey, and haven't taken any phone calls yet. But I'm thinking we're going to get a lot more as it comes closer, and the number is probably going to be closer to 25 than it is to 50 attendees there.
we had, or you had a question if I knew anybody in South Fork. I don't really, but I think we might communicate with the town board, with the fire department. I assume the fire department is some kind of a nonprofit organization. I'm not sure what they are.
Yeah, I don't know. It was sent out on Creede Happenings. I can re-up that. We're, what, about 2 weeks away now?
Yeah.
Like moving to South Fork Happenings page too.
There's a South Fork Happenings page. Okay. I'll look into that and try to get it out to South Fork.
We were gonna do Lake City too, right?
So they've been double hit. I hit the two people I thought needed it in Lake City, and Kira did as well. And so, but the newspaper, you seem to be the one with the contact to the newspaper. Could you forward that last email to your newspaper contact in Lake City? And then that could be
Grant
published.
Houston is his name. I don't know if you guys see that paper. I finally,
never get it.
I have a lot of clients in Lake
Yeah.
City, and I finally subscribed to that. In my opinion, at least, it's a much superior newspaper as far as local news. It's what you think of as an old time. There were a lot of pictures of our kids playing basketball in it this winter.
Yeah.
And
I'll have to
Grant,
look into
Grant is often here taking pictures at games and so forth. You've probably seen him around and just didn't know who he was.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll let Grant know. And I'm just going to let him choose how he wants to handle letting people know. But hopefully he'll put something in the paper.
Okay.
And we may get some interest from there.
Okay. I would have a request to the board. We or the school. We need to pay the caterer before it happens. It's true. We need to pay the caterer prior to collecting the monies on Saturday. And so, could we do that via credit card?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure, you're welcome. Just if you would, maybe I'll have you come in and write the requisition. I'll approve it, we'll get it through, we'll get the credit card.
Okay.
But we actually have to have a source document, so they can actually give you an invoice preceding that we can use. That'd be great.
Source document.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And
Gotcha.
Tommy Knockers, is that
Yeah,
right?
right. I'm in touch with both Brian and Clint on that. They're aware. They've got the date. They know that we're going to be after them.
Good.
And they said, please give us a week's notice. I said, I'm a month and a half out now. We're way good. So they know we're on their books.
Yeah.
But I'd like to get a closer head count before I pull the trigger with it and
Right.
say,
Sure.
this is how many
There
people.
won't be any problem.
Okay.
We can sure do that.
All right. Sounds good. They'll pay that. And then, so if we do hit a head count of 25 for that, that's going to gross at $40 a piece. That's going to gross $1,000. And I don't know if lunch costs us $200 to feed 25 people or something like that. I don't think it'd be more than that. Then that would give us $800 to pay the speaker for that Saturday. And I think it's a great service that we're doing and organizing for the community, and hosting it here. So I think all the boards in the community should be operating, and maybe could be operating better. I'm really
Sure.
looking forward to what the guy has to say
Yeah.
about our.
I mean-
we were given a pamphlet when I joined the board, and I hope you continue to do this with, and that Liz does too. When a new board member comes on, you're given a pamphlet on how to, and I got about 5 pages into it, and I didn't pick it up again. But to have someone speaking to you that goes around the nation training boards on being effective, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, and I can't imagine anybody on any board saying, well, we're doing everything perfect, we don't need any
Well, also keep in
instruction.
mind that CASB provides a free service. That
Yes.
they will have somebody come and talk to the board, and they've offered over and over. They're gonna have somebody come in and actually talk to you about how school boards specifically run and operate and questions you may have.
Uh-huh.
So you can call them anytime and they will have somebody at a meeting.
And,
Well, you keep that in mind, because we might all three get voted off, and you'll be sitting in here with the whole new.
well, yeah, I was going to say, first I thought, well, maybe it would be nice to have somebody come in August or maybe early September and talk to us about that as a board, but there is something to be said for, and what are the deadlines, just without having to look them up on the election?
Let me do this, let me forward, I have the bookmarked for Liz, because she's the one that has to do it. She will be the go-to person on this. But CASB actually has a page that has the dates of what have to be done there, and it wouldn't be bad for all of you to know that as
Right,
well, just to
yeah.
make sure it's done. So, let me forward that page to you guys, and you will have it, and you can check the
Great,
dates. But
that'd be
it's-
great.
It starts in middle of July, I think.
Yeah, you know, we probably by the time school starts, we'll have some idea, maybe not nailed down completely, but some idea about whether other people are going to challenge us or not on our school board situation. So we'll have time to order the pens with the advertising on them.
So you're all running again?
I would request of you two gentlemen to please run again.
I think, yes, I will. I can't imagine not being on the school board for the next 4 years. I mean, I could probably find something to do, but I've been very gratified by this job, and I think you guys have too. And I'm nervous about Mark. I'm a little nervous about Mark.
I didn't
But
shake my head yes or no.
No, he's just keeping it to himself.
yeah,
That's fair.
I'll tell you, I
He's the
have
only one that remembers we're all being recorded. That's what.
appreciated so much Mark's common sense, practical approach to things that we've had to decide. I think it's,
That's about
I
all I
think
bring
in-
your
And
comments.
his
and
Hawaiian
practicality.
shirt.
yeah, it's invaluable. Yeah, and whoever happens to be listening to this on the internet, I wish you could see Mark's shirt. No video on this, Mark.
Yeah, why can't Lindsay take pictures on a day like today?
Yeah. Anything else? Mark, now, is there something about this barbecue that we need?
Well, I think we decided, you had sent me an email and you said that you would like to still have to get together on Saturday night. But Aaron and Mel are going to go to the wedding reception, I'm assuming afterwards too.
What time does the wedding reception start, do you know?
So the wedding's
not
at
sure. 3,
the reception's gonna be at 4, because I doubt it'll go longer than an hour. And I just recently got invited to the wedding too. I may be uninvited again already.
Just for the record, I haven't been invited to the wedding, so.
Well, I'm sure Amy Thompson listens to all of these
Yeah.
online.
So my thoughts are, if we still want to do it, we could still do it, but probably not have a couple or 3 board members. Or the only person that wouldn't probably be here would be Dr. Griffin or Mr. Griffin on Sunday evening.
We could also just look at, I mean, that's a pretty jam-packed weekend
Mhm.
already. We could do like a back-to-school thing, you know, in August.
Yeah, and I mean, August is gonna be a weird month for me, but. my
Well,
grandpa
you know,
and going
we
to
could-
Montana and-
Liz is probably going to want to spend a little time getting us straightened out right after she comes on board too. We could have something in early July. I don't care what month you have something in the summertime in Creede. You've got conflicts and other things that you need to be doing too.
I think,
but-
yeah, and I think it'd be a good thing to do, just to sit around and eat hamburgers and do whatever we wanna do, kind of.
But on that day, we will have just spent all day Friday in board training with Liz and Dr. Griffin, and all day Saturday in a board retreat.
Right, Friday's the retirement dinner and then.
Friday night's the retirement dinner. And Saturday evening is the wedding. So, I think if you host Liz at your house, let's not make it a school board is hosting Liz at your house, because there's 3 of us on the school board who can't make it. 4.
Yeah,
You're going to Amy's
I
wedding.
will go to Amy's wedding, but I may not stay very long for the reception,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
So I'm doing whatever, I'm just offering a place to do
Yeah.
it, so.
Yeah,
Not like I'm, that my feelings hurt.
okay.
well, I don't
Good
want.
coming to my party.
Good.
I
I
don't
love
want
your
you to
man
get your
cave, and I want to
feelings
spend
hurt.
more time there, but
Yeah.
that weekend's not looking good.
Let's wait till Liz gets here, gets her feet planted a little bit, and then we'll see if she even wants to do it still, and we'll just go from there.
Now, there's another thing. I think that Liz is gonna be here the last week of
Yeah,
this
maybe
month or
20th
something.
to
Yeah.
start RVing.
I guess we could do it the week before.
We could do that too.
Yeah.
That's an idea.
And all we need to do is contact you, Buck, and get it posted, I guess.
Wasn't listening, I'm sorry.
If we were gonna do a little get-together, Dr. Sprout, the idea of getting together with Liz prior to the weekend activities, we just need to post it, that we're gonna have a little special retreat meeting or
Oh, you
something.
mean for a special board meeting type thing?
Yeah.
24 hours.
Just 24
notice,
hours, so
finally, yeah.
let's do that. Let's wait till Liz gets here, and then we'll see if she wants,
See what she'd like to do, yeah.
and then we'll do it, or make it.
And that might give us a chance to consolidate our thinking about the retreat and about what we might expect to get out of Dr. Griffin's presentation.
Okay, so let's do that. We'll touch base with her when she
That
gets
sounds
here.
good.
And we'll see if.
Now,
before the-
you're still furnishing the steaks, is that correct? And the
Yeah,
rest of
and
it's
lobster,
potluck?
well, no lobster was gonna be for the Saturday. Yeah. We'll figure out something.
I'll be glad to help you with that.
Yeah.
So I'll follow up on that. I'll talk to Liz and see if she wants to do it, and then I'll get
All
with
right.
you guys, and then I'll get with Buck and make sure we're all legal.
Thank you very
A
much.
little statistical society we live in.
Now, are we having a textbook presentation today?
But would have me do mine, did you wanna wait till principal report?
Totally.
If you want to combine it,
Let's do
that's
just-
fine.
I'll
Yeah,
just talk for about
that's
an hour.
fine. And we talked about the school health professional grant, haven't we?
Yeah, and just so you guys know, you were talking about the election. So July 20th, notification goes to the county clerk, and you've got this, you'll see a whole site, I just sent you the link.
Got it.
And then you have, so they call for nominations, and that's where the three of you have to get going. And then you have nomination petitions, and all that's August 9th, 90 days
Now-
before the election.
That's when we can start with those petitions,
Correct.
is August 9th.
90 days prior.
Yeah, and then we have a certain amount of time to get those completed. I think there's a deadline.
Right. Liz will actually have to, by July 20th, or on July 20th, 100 days preceding, there is a notification, and I'll give her some of the stuff I put together before, that she can just print off and update and submit to Erin. And that has to be done July 20th, and then the rest of these, you just go down by the numbers. On September 1st, your nominations, I think, have to be in. And again, because we're a small district, I think it's just 25, you have to have 6 signatures on it, if that serves correctly. Write-in candidates, September 1st also. And then the big one, if nobody runs against you three, and you all three decide you're going to run, then you can cancel the election. And don't miss that, because if we do, then we owe the county big money. If
Right, we have
cancel,
to
then
pay,
nothing
we have to
left.
pay some fees for the election, yeah.
Right, but I'll go over this with Liz too, so
Okay.
it should be good.
And what's the date on canceling the election?
September 5th, I believe. Yes, September 5th,
And the election's not till November.
November.
Yeah, okay.
And this year it is November 7th.
On a Tuesday.
Any questions about that, guys? So, we need to look at first reading of policies.
Okay, so on this, there are 2 policies, and what they pertain to are graduation requirements. And the graduation requirements, let me bring mine up. I had it and I just got rid of it. So they are both IKF, and I should have IKF-2 on there as well. But these, we already have this in place. We've already updated our information concerning the new graduation requirements. Remember, 2 years ago, we had DAC go through this, and CASB just now updated theirs, and they have some new legislation. So what you see on your PDF file, the blue are the inserts going in. That also brings in for Disability Act. So they had the Disability Act that just came through, so they took bits and pieces from the Disability Act and put that into the graduation requirements. So modifications made as needed. All the modifications are from the CASB attorneys, so I presume they're legit. And IKF2 are what we adhere to on the DAC.
basically with all the different items that we can accept for graduation, the board accepted through the DAC recommendation to accept if we have somebody coming in with items that we don't have here, kind of testing or classes that we don't, we will still accept them. We will still bring that in to allow graduation, even though we don't offer them in Creede. And that's what I -2.
We had that, when I graduated from Center High School, we had that situation. We had a kid come in from California in mid-year, and he graduated with us. And I think there was a little bit of animosity. Nobody liked the kid anyway. But, man, he had all these drama club and chess club and all of these things that we didn't have. You know, we didn't have access to foreign languages, so forth. And it looked like he was really, on paper, it looked like he was really a goer. You know, it looked like he was really, but he wasn't that bright and nobody liked him in reality. So, I don't know.
Well, we don't have anything, I think the things on here, for example, we no longer give the ACT, it's the SAT. But if somebody walks in with an ACT, we'll take it.
Yeah, right.
If somebody goes to a school, a big school that offers the, what is that, the IB,
Yeah.
International Baccalaureate, if they come in, we can't offer it, but if somebody comes in with one, we'll
With
take
it,
it.
we've got
Because
to
that's
recognize it.
Absolutely,
yeah.
we'll recognize
As
it.
long as they have the minimum score.
Right,
Yeah.
they have
And
to
that
have a
goes to
certain
their
score, and all of
graduation.
these goes, same thing with the ACT and the SAT, they gotta have the scores that go with it, so. Anyway, this will be my last first reading of the policies. I won't have them next time since I can't follow through on it, so, there you
Are you so sad?
go. I didn't bring my.
He's wearing black.
I did wear black, I did wear black in consideration.
I know not every school district is, or board is as up on their policies as we are, and I'm impressed on how we do that, and appreciate your help.
Yeah.
Keeping all the name changing that's gone on and all the little details, but even just the guidance to stick with CASB
Yeah.
on the policies, because I think it's kept us.
And boy, do I ever like the search engine that allows us to look at those policies.
Yeah,
Yeah, that is,
at our fingertips.
yeah. Mark,
Yes.
next thing I've got is tractor purchase.
Well, I know we don't have any money, but I think it's too good of a deal for me on my own to say we're not interested in it. The Cruises are moving. Kathy and Jimmy are gonna move. And he has and I fully expect you guys to say no, but I'm gonna tell you about it. He has a tractor. It's a Mahindra, which is made in India. When I found out he sold his snowmobiles for $10,000, and they were like 25 grand
Yeah, I saw
worth of
that.
stuff. So I thought, wow, what about his tractor? So I called him up. He's got a $50,000, a little over 50 grand he paid for this tractor last year. It has 97 hours on it. He's got chains, 4-wheel drive. He's got chains all the way around. He's got a bucket and a snow plow. And
Snow plow on the front?
you can put a plow on the front. It has the backhoe on the back. I'm not impressed with the backhoe. It's a cab, heated cab, and everything. And I'm sure that you could get a brush hog or a mower type to mow this thing.
How big a tractor are we talking about?
It's a 55 horsepower.
So full size?
Pretty much full size. Not a big
Not
full-
like the John Deere we have. Because we already have a John Deere.
No, this is a
real
tractor.
Yeah.
What he's done, and I wish I could justify buying it, he wants $30,000. He wants somebody to just take over his payments. He owes a little over $30,000 on it. So in a sense, what he's done is he has spent $20,000. I'll put $20,000 down on the tractor if you'll take over payments. Is really what he's offering, and the thing's brand new. It's got 1-year warranty, still bumper to bumper, and then 4 more years of drivetrain and
Engine probably.
engine
yeah.
warranty. It came out of the guy in the valley that sells tractors there on the
Valley Tractor Repair?
Valley Tractor Repair.
Between Monty and Alamosa, yeah.
I just, like I say, I didn't want to be the only one that said, no, we're not interested. I want you guys to say that too, but if in my opinion, I know we had some weed issues on the side of the road and different things. Well, now we're getting even more more areas to take care of, let alone the ability to probably push snow better. But I just don't think we're gonna find it's gonna be hard to pass up a $50,000 tractor with 197 hours on it for 30,000. In a sense, he said, I'll throw in the chains and I'll throw in the snow plow and everything, but it's a brand new tractor. Anyway, just want you guys to say no.
No.
He's paying $440 a month.
No, that's a heck of a deal, man.
Oh, that's a heck of a deal. He's paying $440 a month. He has a 0% interest or a 0% loan
Heck of a
on it.
deal.
I checked with Valley Tractor, and you can't. They don't do it. It's Mahindra is the name of the tractor. Mahindra Company would be the one that you would check with and see if you can assume that they know interest loan.
Yeah.
But and you can get tractors. You can get older tractors cheaper.
Yeah.
But
So I'll be the voice of doom, as Dan so often claims I am. The $300,000 deficit, and that is the price of a teacher. Okay, that's as negative as I'll get on it.
well, unless you take over payments, and if you could get $440 a month.
We have payments, we go to a whole different level
Okay.
on our accounting. We don't do payments.
How are we gonna mow our new lawn?
We have a John Deere. Remember we bought that John Deere tractor with the little blade on the front, which is what
Hansville Cruise.
which is the sidewalk.
Right,
We get all that, and then we have the Suburban with the big blade to push the snow,
yeah.
which still works fine
Yeah.
with that. But we got the John Deere riding, a little bigger than a lawnmower tractor. I don't know what you call the thing.
Yeah, I don't-
But I think you need it.
Yeah, you guys, then you could hire me to come over and brush
Yeah.
off the schools. No, I can't justify it either, but I'm going like, wow, this is.
Yeah,
What a deal.
I
What a
couldn't,
deal. It's a $50,000 vehicle or whatever it is, but I don't need another vehicle. I'll sell it to you for 30,
Yeah.
the tires still have the little things on them. I'm like, they were planning on moving. I said, you were planning on moving, were you? And he goes, no. The snowmobile said one of them had 75 miles on it, and the other one had 100 and some miles on it. And he let them, two snowmobiles in the trailer go for 10 grand. You can have it.
Jody wants to expand her garden. We might talk to her.
So, I fully understand. I just felt like I needed to bring it up and let you guys
yeah,
hear
yeah,
about it.
that was the proper thing to do.
Yeah, instead of telling them no, we're not interested.
I guess we don't need a motion on it,
No,
since
it's
we
just,
have
it's just a
really
heads up.
information, yeah.
Yeah.
I worry about operators and stuff, just, our head maintenance guy's 24 years old and maintaining it and operating it correctly and stuff like that.
It's not a farm tractor. It's a handyman hobbyist.
Right.
Have a horse
With a
tractor.
Forward, back, yeah, all hydrostat drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's fine. I'm not disappointed. I just wanted you guys to know that.
Thank you, yeah.
So,
I can see somebody spending a lot of time mowing the lawn with that little John Deere, mowing the infield on our track.
yeah, and you can take the back. I asked him if you could, would you buy the backhoe back? And he goes, well, I probably would. So they sell them as packages, but you can put a blade on the back if you needed, or drag the track, or do whatever, kind of thing. So, or use the bucket to, dig the ice out of the
I need a backhoe,
backhoe thing. Anyway, moving on.
yeah.
Thanks, Mark.
Before we get to G, can I ask if there are going to be any names involved? And if there are going to be names involved, can we go into executive session?
Can we go into executive session without notification?
Yes, absolutely. If
Yeah.
it involves personnel, we certainly can.
Well, let's do it if we can, and we don't have to spend long doing it, but let's have a motion to go into
We're gonna get some
executive
numbers on it.
session. And this would be involving personnel.
Okay. We're gonna get the number here in a
I
second.
Yeah.
have it written down somewhere.
42 something.
You have it, Mark?
I think, yeah, I'll have to find it.
Okay,
I think we should paint it in the corner of the wall up here.
or put it on a projector
You're
somewhere.
right in the corner of the, I guess we have a whiteboard.
Yeah. We could put it on this side of the shade too, and then when we pull the shade,
statute
it'd
is
be
on
right
number
there.
6.
Have you got it, Bug?
Yeah.
I move we go into executive session concerning personnel matters subject to CRS 24-6-402, parentheses 4, parentheses F.
Second,
Second.
moved and seconded, Melanie,
Aye.
Yeah. give me
Damon.
just a
Aye.
second.
myself, yes, and Mark.
Yes. Can you turn this recorder off?
Yeah.
Teachers could get $1,000 annual tax credits, and that was passed by the State House 40 to 25. So that's college savings and keeping teachers in rural Colorado. So there is actually some emphasis up in Colorado, up in Denver right now, which historically you saw very little of that actually paid any kind of attention to rural schools. And this is just one of several bills I've seen, so trying to get away from my curmudgeon attitude.
The amount disappoints me though.
Well, it's something.
It's something,
It
yeah.
might give them incentive to stay. That's
Yeah.
the problem. Now, this next one, I have an article about the Democrats are blocking the charter school funding mandate and a larger spending bill. And so I had that article in there says that they blocked it, it's past tense. But then I read, not so. I think 2 days ago, they passed the bill saying that schools will now have to give charter schools a portion of the taxpayers' money. So if a charter school ever
I thought
opened
it
in
was,
Creede,
I thought it was always that way.
no, only if you allowed it to happen. It was up to you. Now there's a bill that says you have to. So you had, as local control, you had some say-so in that. Well, this new bill apparently is saying, no, you don't. We will control it from the state. And if you have a charter school that
It
opens,
seems so,
yes, that's a good way to put it.
So they're gonna have to deal with this over in Pagosa,
Yes.
because they just opened a brand new charter
Pagosa,
school.
Oh, did they?
Of course, Moffett has their little charter school up there.
Uh-huh.
And right now in the valley, well, I take it back. I think Monte Vista has a charter school now too. So I think Monte Vista and Moffett, as far as I know, they only do charters. So anyway, that will be an interesting. Right now, you know, I don't foresee Creede being in a position that another school would want to open up. There just aren't that many students to glean from. So I don't think you have to worry too soon.
Could I interrupt to ask a question about our meeting with the county? We didn't discuss that. You all met with the county. How'd that go?
oh, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did they're a little different than a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys were superb. In fact, they walked in, and the first thing we talked a little bit. Doc humiliated him and made him feel embarrassed. But as soon as that part was over, then they said, "We want to give all the money to the school."
Yeah.
All the money.
Scott Lamb
Good
had
work.
come in and talked with me about that in the morning. And Scott has been consistently generous with his thinking with that money. But he told me that morning, he said, I don't think I'm saying anything I shouldn't, but we're gonna give all of that money to you guys.
Well, you've got 3 people in there right now that are superb. And Scott has always been very supportive. You have Jesse, who came through the system, has kids in the system, has been very positive about the school, so he's a supporter. And of course, you have Ramona, who was a teacher here at the school, and so you've got commissioners right now.
Yeah.
You're in a great
that's
situation,
good.
great position.
Cool. Thanks.
There's another bill in there, and this is about Bennett, who has introduced a bipartisan bill to reauthorize the SRS program. And he has sent letters to all the Senate leadership trying to push for that to happen. And he's trying to get this in the president's fiscal 2018 budget. And so I just wanted to give kudos to Bennett when it's due, because he's making a big push to get that going again, which is huge for Creede.
So if that happens and our county stays as they are with
Yeah,
that, it could be good news for us.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
retroactive too, looks like.
Retroactive
There's
too.
talk, that's what he's trying to push on that too, because this year's amount was so small But yeah, that's exactly what he's doing, so I'm was pleased to see that, and I may even consider voting for him in the next election. Maybe.
The governor's runs out
Yep,
this
he's done
year too.
November, yeah. Hickenlooper's out, and he's done by term limits, and you already have somebody, Johnson, who is a senator, was an ex-principal, educator, but he's also the one that got like the evaluation bill going. It's kind of a mixed bag. He's done some things really good for Colorado education. He's done some things that folks would argue not so positive. So, but he's definitely running for governor. Colorado schools, this is another one that a judge decided, I believe it was a U.S. District Court judge, ruled that schools cannot sue to overturn the Tabor Amendment, Taxpayer Bill of Rights. Remember, that was a big push. They were going to try to overturn that so we'd have more money. Because right now it's definitely handicapping local governments and schools as well. But a district judge said, nope, you don't have the right to do that. So that's by the wayside for a while. Then there's another article that there is a deal going that will send $30 million to Colorado rural schools. Now that's passed. So before you get too excited and you see that, I wanted to add into this, that when you read the article, it doesn't show you, it just says $30 million are going to rural schools. For Creede, I calculated that will come out to $382 per pupil revenue. $382, which, if we have a count going into that I predicted of 82.2, you would see an increase of 31,326, which is wonderful. But it's not like it's going to be salvation either.
That's a one-time deal.
And it's a one time only.
300,000 would make a difference.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would.
Give or take.
Why that tractor?
And then there is a bill right now going, this is the last article you'll have in your Dropbox. It's a bill to completely restructure the school funding system. And I've talked about it before and mentioned it, but something came up a week ago in committee, and the Republicans didn't like the way it was, and the Senate Democrats didn't like the Republicans not liking it, and so it's just stalled out. It's just hit a roadblock. So there is nothing on the horizon, and it's not on the agenda to come back at any point in the future, so we'll see where that goes. So anyway, that's all I have.
Interesting.
Buck, I have certainly appreciated you finding this kind of information over the years and giving it to us. I think it's been a marvelous service that you've done for us.
I'm glad it helped. There's a lot of stuff out there, so trying to filter it out.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
I learned at BOCES that a certain unnamed school district's superintendent spends 75% of his time actually at the Capitol lobbying for more money. I just wanted to thank you for not doing that.
I've written a lot of letters.
That's fine.
They do get a lot of letters from me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And
They're not
I have
happy with
gone-
him either.
And I have gone up to the Capitol.
Yeah, you've been there.
I've been up there a couple times, and when the JBC was meeting and wanted, and of course I testified at the Lobato
Yeah.
hearing, trying to get it through and all that.
Right.
So I've spent some time, but I do feel that it's more appropriate to be in the building as much as possible. So.
Yeah.
Mr. Goss and the teachers may not feel I should be, but
I missed,
you missed it. We were just
Something-
talking-
Yeah,
we were just talking about
you missed
you.
quite a lot here, John.
you did too.
Well said. There's actually a school going on.
It's just been that kind of day, the last 2 weeks of May, forget it.
Yeah.
Did you finish?
I'm done, sir. It's all yours.
Yeah.
Okay. What should I do first? Principal
The
report or
dance.
the books?
The dance.
The dance.
Yeah.
The coffee, huh? Okay, song and dance. Okay. So, I only teach a couple classes, but I'll tell you what I do. I do English 1, which is freshman English. And I follow the Colorado State sample curriculum. I'll show you what that looks like. And English, 9th grade English is divided into 5 units. They're all supposed to be 4 to 6 weeks apiece. First one I do is problem solving. It turns out to be the end result is a term paper, a research paper supporting an argument. So we have to do a lot of argumentation things. I don't use a book for that. We use EBSCOhost, which, I tried really hard to finally get into the library, and we've got it. It's an online database. If you ever want to see it sometime, it'll blow you away. And you could probably use it too if you ever need to look anything up for any reason. But EBSCOhost, and you find up-to-date current articles. We take some sort of controversial topic, whether it be something like, global warming, solar, just anything,
Now, do you choose that, John, or do
No.
the students have an input in it?
No, they choose their own
They
topic.
choose their own
Right.
topic.
And then I show them, we learn how to research, we learn how to do citations and bibliography, things like that. And Microsoft Word has a tab in there where if you put in your information as you go, it'll set up your works cited page for you and do all your, it does everything right. It's just amazing.
And you teach them how to do that?
Yep.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah. So then the second unit is about short stories. So here's my book. We've been using this for some years, but the 10th grade and the 11th grade book are also Glencoe literature, and we got that years ago because at the time I think the writers of CSAP were writing, well, it might have been McGraw-Hill, but these are awesome books. And so there's a second unit that's about all aspects of short stories. And then the third unit is nonfiction and all kinds of aspects about nonfiction. So there's a lot about that. And then I sort of made up my own last 2 units because I think because I'm stubborn and old, and I think I can cover everything that's covered in the curriculum.
Those things often
And
go
the
together.
standards. Well, English,
Stubborn and old.
to me, I think if you're teaching English, you're going to hit all the standards if you do it halfway right. So
Yeah.
so I've got the argumentative research, short stories, nonfiction, and lots of stories, not just a few. And then we do a novel during the last 9 weeks. So this year we all read Animal Farm, and that was
Nice.
really a good book to do. Last year, some of the kids didn't want to read Animal Farm, so I did Animal Farm and Lord of the Flies and kind of split the class like that. And then I end the year with Romeo and Juliet. And when you're teaching Shakespeare, you're going to teach anything you can imagine about English. I mean, it's just really great. So
Iambic pentameter.
you got to have it, like verse. Okay, then, the other thing I teach is, we call it keyboarding now. Back when Buck was we called it typing,
Typing, yes.
because we had typewriters. So this is my keyboarding book. I think these go clear back to,
My typing teacher was so mean, but I can type.
well, mine was mean and I got a D. So, yeah, I'm not really the greatest person to be the typing instructor, but
Why are they organized like this? This is what works? Oh, because you're sitting next to a keyboard.
yeah, and so you just, and we've got little stands.
And they just sit all right like that.
Okay, so
Okay,
now we're
yeah, sure.
learning homebrew.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah,
What grade is that?
7th.
Oh, okay.
So I took that over because Miss
Interesting.
Carpenter left, and I was talking to Buck, and I go, what are we going to do? They've got this hour where they're doing keyboarding, and who can do keyboarding? And I thought about it for a while, I'm like, gosh, I think it's going to be me. So I do a semester of just teaching typing, and the goal there is we're just going to get better. By the end, they're doing business letters and things like that, and then
We
the
also teach how to do the spreadsheets, the WordPerfect.
well, that's coming up next, yeah. Then I do, the second semester is Microsoft Office.
Oh, nice.
So we go through all sorts of aspects of Word and then PowerPoint, and we're doing Excel right now. And
7th grade.
yeah,
Now,
they're
what-
pretty good at
What
it.
grade
I learned Excel
Gets
when I
that?
was like
7th.
Office?
Yep.
Yeah.
Word,
Yeah.
spreadsheet.
So this is like the project we're gonna do tomorrow. We're gonna enter data and then create a pie chart out of it.
So I have 2 great-grandchildren that are taking this class.
You need help with spreadsheet. Janae can help you. She better be able to.
She never, or John,
John's really, I mean, those kids learn so darn fast, it's
Actually, better
scary.
watch out for her job.
well, yeah, but I'll tell you what, these kids don't ever let you know that they know how to do those things.
Well, I have one project
You
here
would've paid
that,
them, right?
that I always say for the end of the year, and this is distribution of colors in a bag of M&Ms. So probably against, the health department's greater wishes, I buy everybody a bag of M&Ms and they dump them out, and then we make a spreadsheet, so, and they all keep track of how many red they got, how many orange, how many yellow, how brown, blue, whatever. Then we trade all this data and we make a big chart, and so like group 1, that'd be, Trinae, and group 2 would be John. So then they end up making a graph. So they have to figure out how to do this. I give them the M&Ms and the instructions, and then so you can't eat one until we're done. So that's a neat project. And the final is one about amusement parks, where I have them imagine how many are in their family, and then you have to choose. You have to look up information about Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags, Universal Studios, and SeaWorld. And then you have to find out, through looking it up, what's the admission price per adult, what's the admission price per child, how many kids are in your family, how many adults in your family, what's the total price, what's the average price. You do that for each amusement park and then figure out which one you're going to go to based on the cheapest. So that's kind of where we end the year. So they learn a lot, and it's amazing. They learn so fast. They come in and they go, well, we're going to do some, well, we actually, how many years ago was it when we found out that the park test was going to include typing for 3rd graders. And when we knew that was coming, well, Tandy was here, this is probably 5 years, so 3rd graders are keen now. So by the time they're in 7th, they're pretty darn good, but not that good. So.
Yeah.
We've got a fancy dancing program for the elementary school. They go on, and you've seen them. It tells you how words are. If you're not doing well on the letter Z, it'll emphasize the letter Z part of your own individual profile, and says, and if you do well, then you get to play some kind of a typing game like Space Invaders or something. So kids get to use that at elementary, and then they get up to the big stuff with Mr. Goss.
Yeah, so we have fun. We had a really hard one last week. It was to create you'd appreciate this, it's a grade book. And to get the grade, you have to take, the average score. So, and you have to write this long formula, if average of lines B4 and C4 equal or are greater than 89, comma, A, and you have to write it all the way out to
Oh,
F.
yeah.
And if you make one mistake, it won't work. But anyway, so
But when you get it right, it's so
awesome.
good.
I really have fun doing that. And then this year, one day a week, Jody's been coming in and doing health. Because we were trying to figure out where to do that.
Who comes in?
Jody,
Oh, Jody.
she's
I thought
teaching
you
a
said
health class to
George,
the
and I'm like,
7th.
Jody,
Sounds
she'll have like Jody come in and different things. So it's a pretty good little health program.
Well, I was going to grab some of them out and make up their NWEA test today, but I thought, no, they got to go to health. John, for one, last week, Jody did health on Tuesday instead of Wednesday, and that just threw him off. It's like, that's not my schedule.
that's John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, this last thing is that this is sort of tied into some of the stuff on my report, but next year I will be teaching Communication Arts 1 through Adams State. This is college level writing class. I'll also be doing
For college credit, so they'll do it and actually get college credit for it.
Right.
Now, is quite a bit of that done online, or is it
No,
done
it's-
in classroom?
This would be like,
Yeah.
you'll be an adjunct professor?
yeah.
So,
And I've done it before. Here's my book, one of my books, and here's my syllabus. I already had to turn it in, and I have to go through what we're going to do every single week until Christmas. So, and now, in order for the kids to be able to take that, they either have to have a 470 in English on the SAT. If they've taken ACT, they could have a 19 in English and they'd qualify. But I had, her name is Renee from Adams State, come up last week and gave like 13 or 14 kids the English placement exam. So those are the kids that expressed interest in taking this class.
And what grade level is it for? High school?
If you can pass that, if you can pass the English placement test, you can take
Izzy's
it.
wanting to take this one.
Yes.
I don't know if she'll.
Well, we'll see. I'm supposed to know by the end of this week, and of those 14 kids, I figure half will make it. But that means they could have, they would, it's the same test they give them at Adams State, so that'll let them know if they're ready for college yet. On
Yeah.
one end. And then,
Do they get upset about this?
well, you know, I started doing this a few years ago, and what do you mean by upset?
I
If
think,
they don't get in the class.
yeah, I think that's what Sandy means, if they don't make it and get into the class.
Well, I haven't had anybody, you know, I think Tyler's class did this, and I had Kelly and Johnny Whitmore, and then Jonathan class with Cord, and who else took it? And then the last one I taught was 2014. I had Riley, Colin, and Zane, and they took it because they wanted to. So I think some of these kids might be disappointed if they don't make it, but we'll see. You know,
But
yeah.
like you said, that's a good indication too, because then they know exactly
Well,
where they
A
are.
couple of the kids said, "I just want to know." You know,
Yeah.
I had 2 freshmen do it.
Good.
Now, if they qualify, I'll let them take the class. Why wouldn't I? You know, I've had one 10th grader take it over the years. Most of them have been seniors. And then the credit is guaranteed. Did you see the book? I don't know if you did. Guaranteed through Adams as long as you go to a public school. So Jonathan took his 3. It was 6 college credits by the end of 2 semesters. Took him down to UNM and he got credit. They also made him take a placement exam and he passed that too. So I feel pretty good about if they do well in this class, that
Yeah,
they're just
yeah.
ready to go. And I also feel like in general, our students come out of here writing pretty well. I mean, it sounds like I'm bragging, but I wouldn't be surprised if half or maybe more.
That's awesome.
Well,
Past that.
I will brag for you. Are you done with your tech?
I think that's that.
Okay,
But
now I'll brag on you. I will say, since I'm departing, and I've known John as long as I've been here, which has been a couple of centuries, he has just been a phenomenal English teacher. And I've told him since I started, I wish I would have had an English teacher like John. I mean, I don't care who you talk to. You talk to a student that went through the system, if they talk about a cheat shirt they remember, you'll hear Mr.
That's
Dallas
what I
every
always
time,
hear, too.
always here. My kids went through, Jesse on his ACT got a 35 in English, and Tyler, I forgot what he got, but he passed. So, but, and I credit that all to John. So, and I know Mark's kids went through and they did quite well, and so I can't get enough praise to
Author
John.
Damon.
So-
Pressure's on.
So I won't do it to your face, but I'll do it at the board.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're
Thank you very much.
superb and an amazing
John,
credit to
I-
the school.
In watching you, it doesn't seem like your level of enthusiasm decreases. And I know that as you do something long enough, most people get a little less enthusiastic about it, but I appreciate so much. And boy, I'll tell you, kids pick up on that. If the teacher
They do.
comes in and, we had an instructor in college that was very ill. He had some problems and he kept working, and boy, I'll tell you what. And he was a nationally known parasitologist, but you thought nobody wanted to hear him, you know. And your enthusiasm has just continued.
Yeah.
I appreciate it so much.
well, you know, when I was in high school, I wanted to be an English teacher.
Yeah, yeah,
So
You've done well, Dina Mae.
yeah.
Living the dream.
yeah, I don't know. I still like it. I'm sort of, you know, I showed one of the schedules to next year's class schedule to Liz, so she could see what we're up to next year. And I accidentally hadn't taken one of my classes off. She was like, "Oh my gosh, you're going to need more time." So I thought, well, not a lot of principals still teach, but I just get a lot of joy out of it. Freshmen are sort of special.
A lot of people teach principals, but not a lot of principals teach people.
No, that's right.
But anyway, I got to turn that over. I'm turning this over to Miss Lazier next year so I can do the college class. So get a little, I don't know.
Cool.
I'm looking forward to that, and I'm thinking I might have 8.
Wow.
Could have 8 kids in there, which would be about as big as when Buck's son was there. A couple of big classes. And they were good. Okay, so you ready for my board report? It's all written down. I'll try to be quick. On April 26th, we had a guy named Mike come from Trinidad State, and we had the juniors and sophomores meet with him, and he made a pitch for Trinidad State, but he made a pitch for going for post-secondary education in general, with an emphasis on going for technical kinds of things, but he encouraged our kids to do something and maybe start at Trinidad State, get your requirements out of the way, and then transfer to another school. Did a really good job. Turned a couple kids on, I think. I talked to a couple kids later that said, now I know what I'm going to do. So that was a good thing. I'll have him come back every year. And then we had spring photographs. So that was sports clubs, groups. Kim took all the elementary kids. I just realized I spelled it wrong. But anyway, then we went to the usual track meet. It's a big zoo down there every year. That was May 3rd. And then I had 12 students take that Adams State English placement exam, and then those kids will be eligible to take the college. They call it college at high school at Adams. The state history fair was in Denver. We had a little pep rally for them when they were on their way. Well, it was very brief, but we've just... Yeah.
So you talked about the pep rally. Tomorrow,
Oh, I was gonna ask
is it
you.
tomorrow?
Yes.
Yes.
Are they leaving tomorrow for state?
Yes.
We're going to get together in the hallway. Michelle is putting this together, Mrs. Lazier. We got the 3 kids going to state, and we're going to have somebody wanted to come and go hurrah, hurrah. At what time do you know?
They're leaving between 1 and 2.
I think it said 1:50 or something like that.
50, yeah, so.
And boosters are putting together some stuff for them.
Fantastic.
Cool. And Brooke stole my thunder. She already told you who was going to state this year, but it's Rainer, Casper, and Olivia. Let's see what else I got. Okay, so of course tonight's the Spring Arts Festival, and we're finishing up NWEA testing. We got maybe tomorrow, and then we'll be done with that. And then tomorrow, CRT invited the pre-K and the K-5. Preschool, the pre-K and the K-5, all to see their
Oh, that's awesome.
Pants on Fire.
Do they
which
do
is,
that every year?
No.
That's good.
So I think what's happening is they're sort of gearing up for summer, but they want to kind of do a dress rehearsal. I don't know how you have with improv because it's never the same twice. But we're all invited. I'm going to try to go with them. And that's going to follow. You'll see Kim's note down here. She's got a full day planned out for them, starting with cleaning up the town and going to the hot dog stand and things like that. We can read about that later. And then, of course, May 23rd, Academic and Athletic Awards. That's 4:30 in the Commons. And then on May 31st, I have somebody coming. Her name is Yvette Lujan, and she's going to come up here. She's from Trinidad State. She will give what's called the Accuplacer test, which covers English, math, language, etc., etc. Anybody who passes that test can take any of the online concurrent classes that Trinidad State offers.
Well, isn't that also...
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, as I understand it, if they pass the Accuplacer, that's like an admittance into Adams State.
Yeah.
So they would already be
Oh.
accepted into Adams.
Well, and I was going to say, this is also when you saw your first reading of the graduation requirements. The stakes have gone up a little bit, and not only do the kids have to pass all their classes that we provide, but they also have to run up a score out of somewhere. SAT score, in English, it would have to be 430. Of course, to get into my class, it has to be 470. So if anybody takes SAT over the summer and brings a 470, they qualify for college classes. But anyway, Accuplacer, there's a certain level. If you hit that, you can take online concurrent classes, and it's a graduation requirement. So those are good things. And the ASVAB, which we take every year, the sophomores, you might have your results at home, but if a sophomore or somebody before they graduate hits a 31st percentile in either math or English, that's one of them. So we've got the tests in place to make it possible for them. Teresa just handed me earlier today the results from the Elks Essay Awards, and in 5th and 6th grade, Levi was first, Caden Johnson was second, and Eliana Jerbeck was third. And in the grades 7 and 8, Fisher Liggett was first, Clara Mankowski was second, and Mamie Hess was third. But those essays all went up to the district level. And in district, whatever this one is, there's 10 different ones around the state. But Levi was first, Caden was second in that division. And then the second division, which is 7th and 8th grade, Fisher was first, Mamie was second, Clara was third, and they all got money. So $100 for first place for Levi, for example. So
Now, this district level, there's other schools competing in
Right.
that.
right. So I'm not sure how big the
And our
districts are.
kids took 5 places, am I reading that
Well,
right?
they swept the division too. They got
Yeah.
the only 3 places.
Wow.
So yeah, our
I'm
English department's
impressed
good
with
here.
that.
Yeah, it's really good. Let me see. I think. Why don't I just let you read the rest of this? But one other thing that just came up. I had a meeting with Johami Morales last week, and she wanted to talk about theater arts and so on. And in the past, she's done Voices of Creede and little drama clubs and things like that. So I thought that's what we'd talk about. But she said, I want to teach a full semester. So that's
Wow.
going to happen. We hammered it out. And so she will do a theater arts class for the fall semester, 9th through 12th grade.
Wow.
I'm thinking if she's having fun and we're having fun, maybe we'll try a second semester too. But when
What grades will be eligible for that class?
9 through 12.
She's volunteering.
All of high school.
I'm hoping to support her with some grant money,
Okay.
and we're going to look into some other things. But I think she'll start this year, but then we'll figure out how to maybe make it a little better for her. It's an hour a day, away from her other job. But she says she's the education director. She should be doing some education. So
I had that with Renee, and she did a great job.
Renee did it, pro bono, but she was on the board at the time and stuff. But it was a fantastic class. So I said, well, how many do you need, Johami, to consider it's a full class? And she said, I don't know, 6, and we got at least that. So anyway, we're getting long. So I guess one more thing. Miss Gaden's class won the box tops drive. So they're going to have an ice cream party Thursday. Miss Lazier is going to take care of all that. And I'll just let you read the rest.
Cool.
So, there you go.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
John.
It's not even 5:30. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be going soon.
That's everything. isn't it?
I think that's everything.
Thank you, John.
Thank you for responding to Liz. I suppose we should all respond. I'm gonna do my homework that she assigned me first, and then I'll respond.
There you
Just
go.
put a mark 2 on yours, how's that sound?
No, you need to tell her that the barbecue's now just a her and you thing.
Yep. Oh, that's too
Well, guys, is there anything else? Again, I'll tell you how much I appreciate you taking your time to give me some buck.
You're stuck with me 1 more month, so I'll take
What's
it.
that?
You're still stuck with me another month. So
I understand that.
I do have one regret to express to the board. I'm not going to be able to attend graduation this year. I have a commitment with the Early Learning Center to run their fundraising auction that same night, and I regret
They're having
that.
fundraising the same night as graduation.
They are having their arts auction. That was set by the 4UR, their place that they're doing the fundraising. They didn't realize that the 4UR can only do that at certain nights. And so that's the day that they gave him, and so
Gotcha.
they didn't realize there was a conflict. So I apologize, I won't be able to join you on stage.
Well,
Well, and it'll be here, it'll be the first graduation. No, that's right, I'm sorry, it's in
Ruth.
At the-
at the Ruth, right.
That's where the kids want it at.
thanks again, guys.
Anything else on the report? I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Motion carried.